Okara, the one land, ancient before the word existed, torn apart by the Twilight Sword from the enemy. Okara is Domar. Now we have Arako and Krakoa. We're going to dive into X of Swords, guys. This is my favorite day of the week. I'm so excited. Welcome to the Fake Nerd Podcast, episode 220. I got Sparks Witty. I got Ben Magnet. I got Brandon T. McClure. And I got 25 issues of X-Men. That's so much money. Guess what? Worth it. What's up, guys?
What are the extra 3?
Yeah, what are the extra 3?
24 issues. I say
22.
20. No, because there's stasis and destruction and
they're all counted as part of the
Yeah,
top.
all counted.
Shit.
23.
On episode
Right.
220.
It's 23 because you also bought the handbook, I'm assuming, right?
I did buy the handbook. Thank you, Ben. You got me. Okay, we need 2 more comics. I'm just
And what? And I have a question. Where the hell are all your swords? I got my sword right here. It's the Oblivion. Where's your swords, boys?
They're in Blightspoke.
It's
It's a gun sword. Are you Ben? Who's the character with the gun blade? What's his name? From
Leon. Squall Lionheart, aka Leon.
There you go.
Final Fantasy 8.
Ezra.
Oh no, that's season 3 of the
The
Mandalorian.
Blaster Saber.
Hey guys, that's us. We're here to talk about X-Men, but we're going to talk about some news and some stuff we did this week. So how's it going, guys? Who wants to go first?
Whatever.
You raised your
Ben,
hand.
go first.
I saw it. You raised your hand. Just
No, I said whatever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Meg.
Look at that.
MVP
Right on time.
right there.
Hope you're ready to talk.
All right.
X-Men.
All right, Ben, you go first.
I suffered this week, boys.
I'm sorry, Ben.
I suffered.
Everybody suffered this week.
Everyone did suffer this week.
All of you. Y'all suffered.
Yeah.
I suffered. We're all in bad shape.
It's December.
Yeah, because it's winter is here.
It's December.
It's December. Kill me now. I want to die.
It's March 28th, 2020. We're still here.
It's
Wow.
March 220. So yeah, December started. It's the holiday season, and that means it's peak season.
So
That
whoop-de-doo.
means work- and that means work is it turned into a fiery hellscape which I cannot escape from. Worked 6 straight days this week, and by Lord, did it suck. I mean, that paycheck is gonna look nice because I really need the money, but at the same time, man, was I miserable.
So for those of them listening, what is your bank account number and how big will that paycheck be?
Not big enough. So besides that, there was some media I was able to consume in between bouts of sleeping and sadness. One of those being I finished season 1 of DuckTales.
That's your 4th book.
Huh?
That's your 4th book.
What, sleeping and sadness?
Yeah.
It's a new title.
How many books do I already
So far,
have?
4 books.
Oh,
This quadrilogy is getting more depressing all the time.
Just like life. It's his life story.
It's a biography.
God, I didn't think it was the day I had the 3 weeks after, or a week and 2.5 weeks after I hit 30. I wanted to
They sound more like stand-up specials.
they do sound like
The epitome of hyperbole.
sleeping and sadness. So going back to DuckTales, I finally finished season 1 of DuckTales. It took me forever to finish it, and by God, guys, that show was amazing. I
We
know.
got DuckTales news in the.
Yeah, we do. That kind of makes me a little sad, but
Yeah.
one thing I did notice about watching DuckTales is how, because I remember like when DuckTales was first coming out and people were bashing it and being mad about the new art style, but while I'm watching the show, there are so many different plot lines, and each episode, I mean, they don't directly address all the plots, but when an episode about, say, Webby and Lena's plot comes up, or an episode about Dewey trying to find info about his mom comes up, it's like, oh, I'm interested. I want to watch more. And then even though the next episode may not be picking up exactly where the last one left off, it's like, no, I'm still curious. I want to find out how all these threads go together. And I mean, season 1 came out forever, so spoilers for season 1. Magica Dispel comes back. I vaguely remember.
I just started it, Ben.
Oh, shut. Oh, shush. No, you did.
I actually did. I did.
No,
start
he did.
it.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoops.
So that's fine. It's on me for taking too long.
No, it's on me too. I started it a year ago when I first got Disney Plus, and then
And I just finally caught up. But if you haven't caught up, F you. Spoiler here.
well, I said Magica Dispel shows up. I didn't say how though.
I get you.
With the spell.
Maybe. Right.
All right.
It's internet.
Yeah. So DuckTales is great. I'm looking forward to starting season 2. Besides DuckTales, I read a whole lot of X-Men books because, Ten of Swords. We're talking about Ten of Swords today. I finally got...
Shit.
What? You forgot. It's like, keep reading one issue 3.
Quickly,
So-
Ryan, pass me your comics.
There's too many.
Besides that, I sat down because today was my only day off from work, so I got to play Demon Souls. Or not Demon Souls, Frack.
I was about
Bloodborne.
to say, Ben,
No.
you have PS5?
No, I don't have a PS5. I'm sorry. I watched the girlfriend review with my girlfriend on during dinner.
I watched it with my girlfriend too, actually. That's really funny.
Oh,
But
I watched it with him.
You guys are
I,
cute.
we don't need counseling.
I watched
You got it, Ben. It's all right.
I played Bloodborne with my brother again today, and that game is awesome. Took me a while to figure out how to play. Also took a while to kill the boss in the night. It's the Nightmare Intruder. It's the Ryan, it's the dude with the cage on his head.
Oh,
around.
yeah. You're stuck in like the nightmare dimension, and you have to like chase him around. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, he has just a little like cage on his head.
Yeah, he has like a bird cage over his head. So the first game we were playing on my file, the first try through, I died like 5 times straight. It was like, and then we finally kill him.
Did you do that thing where he summons Cthulhu from his arm and he goes blah 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 and tentacles?
Yeah, you want to know some bullshit? The first time he did that to me, he one-shotted me.
Yeah, because he's a boss and it's Dark Souls.
No, so we finally beat him on I want to say the 4th run through on my game, and then we jump into my brother's game, first try, just no surrender, no terms, just we're in there, we stagger, and he is dead. You
know what to do now, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things where we're just sitting there going, we got good real quick.
Good.
So yeah, playing Bloodborne was awesome, and also I went out and got something because one of my favorite game stores I follow on Instagram, and I've been looking for a game for a very long time. And they finally had it, so I gave myself a little tiny early Christmas present, that being Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance.
Ooh,
I've been looking for this game forever. They finally had it. I called. They're like, "Yep, still here." And apparently the owner and the guy who was working the store at the time is like, "Yeah, both of us really wanted to buy it, but we remember there's one dude who came in here a while ago and said he was looking for this game." That dude was me.
That was you, Ben. Look at that. That's nice.
I was looking for it, and I finally got it.
I'm the dude.
I'm the dude.
That's really cool of them, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally got a game I've been looking for forever because I did have Metroid Fusion back when it first came out, but when I sold my original Game Boy Advance, when I got a Game Boy Advance SP to a buddy of mine, I originally wasn't going to give him a game, and I felt bad. So, like an idiot, well, actually not like an idiot, I gave him Metroid Fusion along with my old Game Boy.
Oh.
Then years later, I realized, wait, Metroid Fusion's really good. Damn it!
Damn.
Yeah, and then every time I would see it at a store, it's like, damn, I don't have the money for it. Damn, I don't have the money for it. And now it's like, I gotta get it. I gotta hurry up.
Ben, if I may interrupt you real quickly. There are links in the description that I want our audiences to check out before they check out of the segment altogether. Real quickly, Ryan has The Omen, Downright Annoyed, in the description below. Check that out. Really cool chat, I'm assuming.
It was pretty cool. Talked about a demon child.
And I have an article in the description below that I put up on my blog called "What About the Theaters?" It's a cheeky name. It's not. I don't actually care, but it's
the children.
But yeah, so I wrote a piece, put up on my blog after months of doing it. That's a good piece.
Proud of you.
Carry on, Ben.
Wait. Do we have one more link, sir?
Do
A
we have
Basement
one more?
Arcade went up this week.
Oh,
You guys fought Galactus.
No Basement Arcade link?
Galactus is nowhere to be seen.
Man, I'm so high already. Basement Arcade has a link in the description below. Yes, where you guys fought Galactus on Fortnite.
Yeah, we that's like 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
It's like almost 2 hours long. The rest of it is just checking out a bunch of Marvel shit. So
Yeah, it's just us playing.
showing you what's cool about Marvel in Fortnite. Now that's over and you can't play it, so you know.
But you can play as the Mandalorian and as Kratos, and we'll talk about that later.
I don't know. I saw some videos.
Very cool. So yeah, I have an article in the description below. There's a new Basement Arcade up right now that you can check out. That's in the description below. And of course, Ryan's Downright Annoyed for The Omen.
Bam, bam, bam.
Check those guys out.
Cool. Ben?
No, I was done.
Oh, okay.
literally I played Bloodborne, I watched DuckTales, I watched Mandalorian, I was up to 6 in the morning reading Ten of Swords.
Well, that's because you wait.
Ben, you don't have to wait to read 25, 24 issues.
in the week.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was actually gonna do it later today, but when I got back home last night, I was like, nah, I'm like, you know what, this is too good. I'm gonna keep going.
So instead of waiting to the last minute, you waited to the second to last minute.
It's still better than last minute.
No, I got you.
Also, reading it all at once is really nice. As
a person who more or less read it in a day.
I didn't read it as like, oh my god, it's like, oh no, panic. It was like, I finally have time and I don't have to go to work in the morning.
It was a nice long read. Yeah.
So when I finished it, the reason why I was up so late is because I knew I didn't have to go to work, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna have the time. I'm gonna sleep in. I'm just gonna, and I wasn't like, oh god, I gotta get through this. It was no, I want to get through this. I am enjoying this, which we will get into a little bit later.
Yeah. Brandon, do you want to go next, or do you want me to take it on, or?
Why not? Sorry, my hands are in the wrong place.
That's okay. I hate when that happens to me.
What do I do with my hands?
So as I said, there are links in the description below. I wrote an article. I actually wrote a lot of articles this week that are going to go up within the next couple of weeks. Sparks helped me with one of them, which I greatly appreciate because I had a hard time cracking it. And there's
you have co-credit on it?
No.
I just gave him pointers on what to do, and
all right, I'm just saying credits.
Correcting in a sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, that first sentence, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
So that actually might go up this week. I wrote a Quibi one. I wrote that. I actually wrote an article about whether or not I think the Dark Universe could work. I am currently in the middle of an article pitch that I want to give to the Kaiju Quarterly magazine. We'll see. They seem interested. We'll see what happens.
Do it.
I won't say anything more about that one. But I watched a ton of Christmas movies, guys. It is Christmas season. And my girlfriend loves every holiday. Loves all the holidays. So for Christmas, we watch all Christmas movies. And a couple of years ago, I would have been into that. However, this year has been a wild ride, to say the least. And in order to artificially inject serotonin into my brain to make me happy, I have to watch new things. Because it makes me feel like I've accomplished something. I've seen all these Christmas movies 105 times. This is not helping. Anyway. But look, I'll list them off real quickly. I watched the Benedict Cumberbatch Illumination film, The Grinch, which is a movie I really like, actually. I watched Deck the Halls for the first time. So, new movie. There you go. Vince Vaughn. What's her face?
Matthew Broderick.
No.
Oh, no. You said Deck the Halls. You meant Four Christmases.
I watched both of those. Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito. Yes, I did watch that one for the first time.
I saw that one. I never remember that.
Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon for Four Christmases.
I watched Four Christmases.
I have not seen that movie. I just saw the poster when he posted it on Instagram today and knew who he was talking about.
I watched Elf again. That's a great movie.
That is good.
Four Christmases, by the way, has a very cut Jon Favreau. Oh, weird.
See, it's Johnny Favs since the 90s has literally just gone back and forth with his
A lot
weight.
of people will forget in Friends when he
wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Decides, that he wants to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And he's got some muscle. He's got one. It's funny.
I watched the first two Santa Claus films. I like the first one. I really like the second one. I think the second one's really good.
Do you know the original rated R take of the Santa Claus?
Yes, I just heard about that where he blows Santa off the roof.
He's gonna shoot Santa Claus off the roof, and the kid was like, "Did you just shoot Santa?" He's like, "You shouldn't have been on the roof." And I'm like, and then there's producers were like, "Oh, this is a Christmas movie, right? Never mind, never mind."
Real quickly,
that sounds exactly like how Tim Allen would handle it.
Yeah, the snitch. Yeah.
Real quickly though, Tim Allen just announced that he is going to be teaming up with none other than Tim Allen for a Home Improvement Last Man Standing crossover episode.
Wow, everyone's demanding it. Oh,
wait,
man.
For real?
For real. He is going to play Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Is the other guy also coming back? Because he has now played a different character on Last Man Standing as well.
Yes.
I hope so.
Yes, Tim Allen. Hey guys, spoilers, Tim Allen sucks.
For those of you listening to this, Sparks just kind of devolved into his hands.
Look, I really enjoyed Home Improvement when I was little.
Yeah,
and I thought that was fun to watch. And because of that, I gave Last Man Standing a my time of day, and it rapidly unearned it. But that is wild. The idea of
Good for you, Tim.
Tim Allen and Tim Allen.
Thank you, Witch Historian.
You're right. You're right.
Tim Allen just
You can be the voice of Buzz Lightyear and be shitty too.
So that I thought that was funny. Anyway, I watched Home Alone. That's a movie.
That's a good movie.
So, question about Home Alone. Since the Wet Bandits, in reality, they would have died from a
Many
lot
times.
of things. Would Kevin McAllister be charged with murder, or would he let go because of self-defense?
I think
Depends on the state.
I think it would actually make a really important TV series.
State of New York.
It would be a TV series that shows how insane Kevin actually is, and how the Wet Bandits were destroyed by this child, and he would go to jail instead.
It would be interesting litigation, but here's the thing: because he's white, no, he wouldn't go to jail.
There you go. That's
because he's white and rich, no, he wouldn't go to jail.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the reason self-defense would fall apart is because it's definitely premeditated murder.
Yeah.
However, you can also argue that Kevin McAllister doesn't understand the concept of that actually murdering them.
He's 9. Yeah.
So a lawyer could finagle that, and yes, he would get off for it.
Well, another argument for that being that he is in his own domicile, which he resides, and someone is breaking and entering.
That only would apply if it's like Florida, which is stand your ground. That would only so they'd have to have a stand your ground thing.
Texas, they have that.
State like that.
They have that in Texas too, though.
Yeah,
Which is so
exactly. Which historian's correct?
Yes, I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
It would be self-defense. Yeah.
probably involuntary manslaughter then. Sorry, random.
If he weren't a child, there would be a solid argument for premeditated murder.
Okay, I watched Godmother, which is the new Disney Plus movie with
I watched that too.
Isla Fisher
and Julian Miller.
Yes, who I really liked in that running movie. Jesus, Brittany Runs a Mile. Maybe I hope so.
22 Jump Street for us.
She's in a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. Yes, 22 Jump Street.
Workaholics.
She was in the Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie, Seth Rogen Christmas movie.
Oh, we watched that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last
She was also in Bill and Ted Face Music.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember the name of that movie right now.
Yeah, it was all right. I don't really.
Christmas,
Nope, you're not even close.
Yeah, it was all right. I wasn't too crazy about it.
I enjoyed, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time the night before. Got it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it when I bring it up. So we literally just watched it a couple hours ago. I think you did too. I think that Julian Miller is very funny in it. I think Isla Fisher is doing a good job. I think that the ultimate message of the end of it is pretty solid. I kind of like that that's what they went for. Which is because I don't think most people are going to watch it, and I'm just going to say the main point is for the fairy godmothers to all as a unit realize that the concept of a happily ever after can be different for lots of different people. It's not just a handsome prince and a castle and all that stuff. It can be homosexual love. It can be love between mother and daughter and grandmother and grandson, and just humanly bonding. It can be all these kind of different things. And I think that's a really good message. And I do think it sticks the landing on it. It's not doing anything new outside of that, beyond what you'd expect from Hallmark movies. But as a person who's been around my mother with a crap ton of Hallmark movies, this was more entertaining.
I watched Ready Player One. Wait, that's not right. Hugo.
We talked about
Hugo's great.
We talked about that last week.
That is a good or unorthodox Christmas movie.
Hugo's a great movie.
Yeah, I really like Hugo. I made the joke because it's basically like 1930s Ready Player One.
Not
in a bad way.
Film Ready Player, film Ready Player One, or just 1930s in general.
I don't know if I'm willing to say that
because Ready Player One is literally thousands.
Because it's really just focused on the film works of a single man.
Yeah,
it's a joke, guys. Don't ever analyze it.
Oh, I
get what you mean. Hugo's fantastic. Let's not knock it.
No, I don't want to because it's one of my.
No, interesting to Hugo because I've never seen it.
It's a Scorsese joint that. Scorsese, right? He did that. Yeah, it's one of the things that I think most people don't remember just because that's not his typical thing, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, That is a my horrible joke notwithstanding. That is a really great movie. I like that movie a whole lot. I've liked it ever since I saw it in theaters. I adore that movie. I read the book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret. That's also excellent. This is as Ryan said, a Martin Scorsese family film, which is something he has not done before. Did not do before.
The Goodfellas are all about family.
No, he did not do it before, and he didn't do after. He did something he said because he wanted to do something for his kids.
His very young kids.
He did play a voice in Shark Tale before that.
Yeah, because he wanted a new paycheck or a new. What's the joke? You want a new pool?
Want a new bathroom.
I made everybody remember Shark Tale.
Oh, that Finding Nemo money. Oh, sorry, DreamWorks.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Anybody who hasn't seen it probably should see that. That if you love film, it's a cinephile's dream.
Sorry,
I can make a whole lot.
Also got a robot in it.
An automaton. Are these auto erotica? And then I watched another movie that I really, really love, and I hadn't seen it in years, Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, that movie's great.
With Alec Baldwin as Santa, Hugh Jackman as the Easter Bunny, and Chris Pine as Jack Frost. I really like that movie. That is what I call the DreamWorks Golden Age. It came out in the era between How to Train Your Dragon and How to Train Your Dragon 2, where they were just knocking it out of the damn park. Every movie from that era is gold.
Who played the Tooth Fairy in that movie?
I don't remember her name, and I feel bad about that.
I feel bad about it. You can talk. I'm gonna look it up. I feel bad.
I really like Rise of the Guardians. It's a lot of fun. I love the music by Alexandre Desplat. Desplat. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Desplat.
And it was just fun to revisit that.
It's Isla Fisher from the movie you just watched.
Oh, well, she's good in it.
That's awesome.
So I really like that movie. I think it's a very enjoyable holiday movie. Not really a Christmas movie, but it's just a lot of fun. Just like I said, another movie that they knocked out of the park in that golden era.
I think it just feels more Christmas than any of the others because Jack Frost is the main character, and that's so.
But the only holiday it centers around is Easter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I was reminded with or just how never mind. Keep going.
I was going to take a swig of water if you want to keep trying to remember.
Okay, yeah. No, it's the scene where they're in the Easter Bunny's little rabbit hole, and they're all the angry marching, and they're cute, and then Hugh Jackman's like, "No, mate, they're adorable." And he's looking at evil as he's petting one of the eggs. It's like, oh god.
I think the sleigh takeoff sequence is honestly really fun.
It is,
with the music playing. I really like that movie. I wish that movie did better.
Nice tattooed on his arms.
I wish that movie did better when it came out. Like I said, there was this era between How to Train Your Dragon and How to Train Your Dragon 2 where DreamWorks just put out some really solid movies. Maybe not all of them because Turbo was in that rotation. But there's Megamind and The Croods, which we talked about endlessly. Kung Fu Panda 2.
Was The Croods really in that period?
Yeah.
Wow.
7 years ago or whatever?
I think The Croods was the last one before it went to the new era. Because I know...
Nope. It was Rise of the Guardians came out after The Croods.
It did?
Yeah.
Wild.
Wow. So I really Puss in Boots was in that era. And that's a great movie.
Is that a good movie? I've never seen it.
It's very much worth watching. I'll say that.
That still doesn't sell me.
Interesting.
Here's the thing.
I would say it's a great movie.
Here's the thing. I think it's good. I think it has flaws. It's certainly better than the latter two Shreks. It's closer to the quality of Shrek 2.
I really like Shrek 2.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it's on par, but I'll say it's closer to that quality. I would say it's good.
All right.
The
I
issue
do not think it's for everybody. I'll say that.
I love cats.
The issue with that era was that a lot of those films, because of their previous stigma, did not do well. So many of them really struggled at the box office. Hell, even How to Train Your Dragon 2 almost tanked that franchise. The Croods we talked about shockingly got a sequel after 10 years. Rise of the Guardians didn't do well. Kung Fu Panda was the only one who did well because the first Kung Fu Panda did really well. So I think it's a damn shame we didn't get a sequel to that movie, but I really like it. Oh hell, I'll do this now. Hey guys, remember these?
Yeah. FNP Masks.
Our Fake Nerd Podcast masks. We are still selling them. They make great stocking stuffers. I'm not going to do the bit again because I can't remember the bit, but
remember
we still have plenty in stock. We definitely want to sell these things. I'm on furlough until January 31st because y'all aren't wearing a damn mask, so do that. But if you don't want to wear a Picnic Podcast mask, which, to be honest, why wouldn't you? You can get the new Christmas mask that my girlfriend is selling. She is selling special Christmas prints. If you want to be festive, you want to have an ugly Christmas sweater on your face.
It's my dream.
There you go. You got those. She asked me to do that. You're welcome. Leave.
Hell
yeah. Let's see. The other thing I did that I want to touch on, I have a friend from a podcast group that I'm on Facebook called Feel Better. It's a real name.
Oh, thanks, Witch Historian.
Woo! That's awesome.
Witch Historian has one of yes, that's really great.
The best.
Pixar didn't happen. No, sorry.
So I have a friend called Phil Better he had a show called the Phil Better Podcast, and now he is doing another show called Invest in Yourself, which he's got a couple episodes out right now. I forgot the link in the description, but it will be there. I'm not going to talk too much about it because the episode we recorded is not going to be out till mid-January, so stay tuned for that. But basically we just talked about what that podcast is he talks to podcasters about what have they tried to do to monetize, spitball ideas to help kind of create the a larger audience for the podcast. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for me to do because I get to talk about this podcast, which honestly I'm really proud of. So I like talking about it. And he's a good friend, so it was just fun to banter about it. So that was cool. Stay tuned for that.
I love it.
Great.
Now the important shit. I finished a bunch of TV shows because I was able to convince my girlfriend it was a Christmas movie. So that's how I got to watch Hugo too. But I watched The Holiday Movies That Made Us, which is a spin-off of the movies that made us, which is itself a spin-off of the toys that made us on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
They have an episode on home improvement. And
try again.
Elf.
Do they actually have one on Elf?
Yes.
Elf's I don't like Christmas. That's my favorite Christmas.
Do you want to try that first one again? They have an episode on
Elf.
What's the guy's name? Wilson?
Okay.
The guy with the fence? Is it Wilson?
Yeah.
And
Nightmare Before Christmas.
There you go.
Oh, how do I not care about Christmas, but I want to watch all these more than the other movies that are on the original one? That's crazy.
These are an hour long. If you like the documentary format, the docuseries format of the toys that made us and the movies that made us, well worth a watch. What I really like about them is that they turned everything into an underdog story. So it's just you kind of end up rooting for the movie by the time the movie is released. There was a thing, there's a little sizzle for you. In the episode, they're one of our first ever preview screen, as soon as the sleigh takes off in Central Park, it rolled credits. Oops. And the producers were like, we think that's a better ending.
That's rude.
Right? So yeah, that's really great. It tells you things that you've never heard about these movies. So you're not going into a documentary on the DVD that you've seen before. This is totally new takes.
I think I think I watched the Die Hard, the movies that made us one.
Yeah.
And that one was really, really good. And I just didn't go back to those just for whatever reason. But I love Elf and I love Nightmare Before Christmas. And is Will Ferrell in that at all? Does he show up at all?
No.
Damn it, Will.
They can't afford the main stars.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll still watch it because I love that movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I finished season 4 of Rick and Morty.
We still haven't done that.
Wait, what?
We still have 3 episodes.
Oh, okay. We started.
We just quit.
Oh, okay.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I haven't seen Rick and Morty since season 3 was put on Hulu, and that was more than a year ago. So screw Hulu. But when I finally watched Rick and Morty season 4, I'm watching this, and I've seen so many Rick and Morty type shows. People trying to be Rick and Morty, that adult comedy show. I'm watching Rick and Morty, I'm like, damn, nobody comes close.
Yeah, really. That writing team, man, is insane.
Yeah.
Jeff Loveness, one of the guys who's up and coming in comics now. He's one of the writers on that show. And I'm like,
writing the third Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's writing the third Ant-Man. I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. Yeah, Rick and Morty, it's been a while since we watched it, but that show's It really is good.
I'd like to finish that season.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about it until Brandon brought it up because we just quit.
It's
I don't
true.
remember why.
Just time.
You guys saw the Memory Train, right?
Yes.
That was yes.
I think that was our last episode.
that
to be
was
honest.
excellent.
That episode is incredible. Holy shit!
Like 4 seasons in, like how do you keep topping yourself? I'm like, oh, it's because they do. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
What then?
Jazz.
What?
Snake Jazz?
Snake Jazz. Oh, the snake episode. Holy shit, guys! I tweeted about that.
No, I haven't.
You know how much I hate snakes.
Yeah, I know how much you hate snakes, but I haven't gotten that. The only reason why I know about Snake Jazz is because I came home from work one night and Fanny kept doing. What is that from? She's like, oh, it's from Rick and Morty. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's from Rick and Morty? I don't remember anything like that. She's like, it's Snake Jazz. I'm like, the hell is Snake Jazz?
That episode is also another incredible episode. I have been trying to finish a show for a long time, guys. I'm a huge fan. I don't really talk about it a whole lot. I'm a huge fan of legal dramas. I love legal dramas. If apes were snakes, says Mag. If there's a procedural that I often gravitate towards, it is legal dramas. I watched Shark before James Woods was a monster, and I watched a show called Boston Legal. Which is David E. Kelly. That is William Shatner, James Spader, Candice Bergen, Renee Auberjonois. So many cool actors. As the show progressed, it got a lot ridiculous. That because they just started leaning into the comedy of William Shatner and James Spader's characters. By the way, anybody care if I spoil the ending?
Go for it.
I guess not.
I watched it. That's one of the shows I've actually watched.
Alan and Denny get married at the end because Denny is like, you're my best friend. I want to spend my life with you. Also, if I get Alzheimer's, you'll have spousal privilege. And that will be me protecting you, and you can use my money to do things you want with it. And it's actually kind of a sweet moment. Really ridiculous.
Wait, William Shatner and James Spader's character?
James Spader, yes.
They get married at the end of it?
Yes.
Yeah, when you just said Alan and Denny and Ben and I haven't watched the show, I'm like,
Sorry.
I don't even remember their names. I haven't watched that show in 10 years.
William Shatner and James Spader are the main characters of the show.
Uh-huh.
And William Shatner plays a character named Denny Crane, who is a senior partner at Crane, Poole, and Schmidt, the law firm that Alan Jackson, that's his character from Stargate. Alan Shore.
You just had to say that was who those guys were. That's all.
William Shatner is awesome on that show. That's like that's one of the few things like outside of Star Trek where I think he does work really well.
Yeah, he's also really good in it. Like honestly good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I really like the show. I finally finished the 5th season. John Larroquette is really great in it. It only lasted for 5 seasons, and it got really meta. There's a bit where they're in a courtroom, and they're trying to sue the networks, the TV networks, for being ageist because they won't play anything that appeals to the over 50, the over 50 market. So John Larroquette is like, no, there are no shows on the air that deal with people over 50. In fact, the only show on the air that is willing to even show people over 50 is actually, you know what? I can't say it, or else I'll break the wall there.
Can't break that fourth wall.
So it got really dumb as they started getting meta. Like there's bits with like Boston Legal fluctuated time slots a lot when it was airing. So there's a bit where it's just like, do you think they're going to cancel us? Thinking about like socially cancel, and then they're like, no, there's plenty of time slots left.
That's good. I love it.
So that show
to start raising the bar.
That show was a lot of fun. That show was a lot of fun for me to watch. Sparks, I think you and I are going to end up very.
Oh, raising the bar because I meant like the bar exam.
No, I meant literally a show called Raising the
Gotcha.
Bar.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Because my aunt's a lawyer, so like I know lawyer shit sometimes. I'm like, oh, you talking about the bar exam?
Oh, I thought. Oh.
Sparks, I think you and I are going to end up very similarly to Alan and Denny.
I don't doubt it.
Who's who?
And,
I don't know. I'm probably the one that's going to get Alzheimer's, so we'll marry because of that.
Don't say that. Blood of Zeus was the final thing I did. I watched the TV show Blood of Zeus.
Oh, I thought you said Bloody Goose.
Blood of Zeus
What?
On
This game DLC did you download?
the better one, the Dead by Daylight DLC.
Yes.
Peace was never an option.
That's the new animated. This is the new Greek mythology animated show from the Castlevania team. It's the same animation as Castlevania, and that does give me pause because I'm not crazy about that animation. However, at the very beginning, they say that there are many stories of Greek mythology that were lost to time because it was an oral tradition.
Yeah.
And then they said this is one of them, and I was like, oh shit. You in one line, you have the ability to now have immense stakes that don't exist in an adaptation.
And do
you can do what you want, and you can't have the Greek mythology nuts bitch about it not being canon.
So I forgot to talk about this, but I watched 3 episodes of that show like 2 weeks ago, and I forgot. Because I didn't finish it, and I just forgot.
No, I get you.
I really want to finish that show because animation, like, it can be stiff at times, but like, what other rated R badass mythology show is like this?
Yeah.
None of them. It's awesome.
I love the giant designs.
I love all the designs, man.
I think the giant designs are really cool. I really enjoy the story, how that unfolds, and I love the music. The music is a highlight for me because it sounds at times very similar to an old Greek mythology film like Clash of the Titans or Spartacus. I know that's not mythology, but you get the picture. Yeah. Kind of Greek epic film, while also mixing in like the first 3 God of War soundtracks. So I thought the music was great. I love the character designs. I really like the voice cast. Awesome show. I was really enjoying it. I'm glad it got a season 2. I really like Greek mythology things that just want to play in that sandbox, so they try to tell a different story than the one that's already been adapted.
Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Well, yeah. The reason why I don't really like the remake of Clash of the Titans outside of it being bad is because I've already seen that story. But I like Wrath of the Titans because it's something completely different. It's just a different story. You get to play in that sandbox.
Oh my God, we agree. I think the first Clash or the remake of Clash of the Titans is like whatever.
Yeah.
I defend Wrath of the Titans friggin' hard.
Me too.
And I can't. I'm not even joking. This is spoilers for the downright nerdy thing. I've been waiting for me to get picked so I can pick Wrath of the Titans so I can watch it again.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's legitimately an excellent action movie.
I've heard this a lot. I just
and no one ever talks about that. So love you, Brandon.
It's because Clash of the Titans wasn't good, but Wrath of the Titans again. All they were like, this isn't a story you've heard before. We're just playing in the sandbox.
Yeah. And it's like completely original, doing its own thing. So much Greek mythology stuff. Yeah. Oh God, Wrath of the Titans rules, you guys. Please go buy it. Just do it.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Cool.
You go, because I left my list upstairs. Someone go grab it as you talk.
Sounds good. All right. Some of it I gotta talk about with you, so go quick. We watched The Mandalorian, obviously. I think we all did that. We're not gonna talk about it because we have another show where we do that. So that's it. I did, however, start the Disney Gallery behind the scenes thing about Mandalorian. I just watched one, but still super good. That's fun. Most of you have done it.
Dave Filoni rules.
Yeah, ton of fun. Megan and I picked up continuing because we dropped off for no particular reason. It's a super quality show. It got put in our backlog, but everything's going to be okay. Which is on Freeform. I highly encourage you to watch it. We didn't finish the season yet, but we're going to. It doesn't take a long time to go through. It's on Hulu. My friend Kayla Cromer is in it. She's a main character in it. She's fantastic. She kills it, honestly. She's so good. I'm so happy for her. Please watch that show. In order to keep up with my anime night buddies, I had to watch 4 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen this week. That anime is dope. I'm really happy to report that I think that anime is really, really cool. So, that's great. It's neat stuff. I think they're doing a good job with it. Speaking of anime, Megan and I also returned to another show we were watching, which is Promised Neverland. That anime also continues to be really good.
Is it an anime about like Wonderland or like Neverland?
No,
stuff?
Promised Neverland. Okay, I think you'd actually really like this. I'm going to tell you the concept of Promised Neverland. It's a whole bunch of kids. They are all orphans, and they live with this nurse who they all refer to as mom, right? Let's say there's like 16 kids, all varying ages, but nobody over 12. That's because when they turn 12, they get taken out to a truck, and they are carted away to be fed to demons.
Yay! Something is killing the children.
They live on a human farm. and 3 of the smartest children who are about to turn 12 figure this out and are plotting an escape from the farm. And trying to, in the best way that they possibly can, with the limited amount of information that they can find in their little library, learn if there's actually even a world outside of the farm that will protect them, or if it's just demons ruling everything.
Is it fantasy? Or is it like post-apocalyptic? Like, what is it?
Well, all you see is like this beautiful farm.
Okay, so it's like
that they live in, and they're not allowed to leave a certain like barrier. There's a fence, and they never go over the fence. And then they see a truck come in the first episode because one of the little girls who's being taken away, she leaves her toy behind. They go to take it to her, and 2 of them find these monsters, and she's already dead.
Nice.
And they're carting her away. The anime is really good. So, you're welcome.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
This second season is about to drop. January, actually. Megan and I didn't know this was a thing. Megan and I finished the story for the Nintendo Switch Mario Party.
There's a story mode?
There's a story mode, yeah.
There's not a story mode. There's just you did all the things.
That's a story.
You win.
The story is you did it.
And then everybody's like, oh, yeah. The reason I want to talk about this is because what happens is you get 5 gems. When you get the 5 gems, it makes the big super winner crown. Once that happens, that crown is on a pedestal. And that's where the whole ending cinematic happens. And they tease like, oh, until the next party. And everybody's like, there'll be another party. And I'm like, guys, this is like Mario Party 15. There'll be another party.
Final Fantasy.
Anyway. You go back into, like, anytime you go back in to do anything, the 5 gems are still there, but the crown is gone. The crown doesn't stay there. Fuck the crown.
You got to earn it every time or something? Like
no, that's it. There's just no crown. Your 5 gems are still there. You just don't have the crown.
They took it for Fall Guys.
Stupid. Sorry. All right. Anyway, we played some Dead by Daylight. I have Mandalorian on here twice.
Because it was just twice.
We talked about Godmothered. The last 2 things. Oh, Happiest Season. I watched Happiest Season.
Oh yeah.
That's the one with that's the
Kristen
Hulu.
Stewart.
Yes, Kristen Stewart. I know you're not. That is also like ancillarily a Christmas movie. I would not. It's a Christmas movie, but like, that's not what it's about.
It's not like I wouldn't watch it if it was based on Christmas.
I totally understand why people are a little frustrated with the plotting of the film. But I also think that cast is so flipping good, it doesn't matter. And, well, not that it doesn't matter. That's a little too mean and rude and dismissive. It matters, but I still think the film is solid because it's a good cast. There's a lot of good intentions to it. I do think for the most part of the story that it's trying to tell, it is convoluted, but it's executed well. It definitely could be better, but I'm just glad that we even have this. I think everybody's really good in it. Mackenzie Davis is the main love interest for Kristen Stewart. Mackenzie Davis, y'all remember from Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dark Fate love on the internet this week, and I love it.
I'm really happy about that, too. And Aubrey Plaza is fantastic in it. Victor Garber. Mary Holland, who is the voice of the droid from the Jedi Knight Training Academy, is super great in it. Probably my favorite character.
Mary Steenburgen? Mary
Steenburgen, yeah. From Last Man on Earth, amongst other things. Yes, all super good. I do recommend watching Happiest Season.
Oh, yeah.
The last 2 things I'm going to talk about are related to this guy, which, number 1, Ryan and I, for no particular reason whatsoever, watched Batman v Superman last night, I guess.
All 3 hours and 3 minutes of it.
Oh, boy.
We would tell you to go listen to a podcast about it, but we didn't record it.
Wait a second. That movie is only...
Wait. Which historians? The cast was great. The plot was facepalm. I totally agree. It has its entertaining value, in my opinion, but I get it.
You know what? I don't agree. Just because I think she should have ended up with Riley doesn't mean that I don't think that Mackenzie Davis's moment at the end is incredibly justified for the genre of picture that was.
I get that. That's not the problem I have with it, and I don't need to get into it right now. We can talk.
I also haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, are we talking PBS or are we talking about?
Oh, that was Happiest Season. That was.
Remember when Mackenzie Grace? Remember when Mackenzie Grace showed up in Batman v Superman?
Kristen Stewart and Batman hung out.
Okay.
No, because when that thing popped up, it was when Sparks was going into BVS, and I'm like, what?
No,
Ben, real quickly.
Which historian was responding to Happy Season?
Real quickly, Ben. The chat is 1.5 minutes behind us.
Okay.
So
So anyway, in regards to BVS, Ryan and I will not be saying anything really about it right now, other than, oh my God.
Listen, if this is your first time on the podcast, we have opinions on Batman versus Superman. If you've listened to us before, you know how you feel. You know
Here's
how
the
I feel.
thing. Yeah, y'all were safer when I hadn't seen the movie since theaters. Now I've seen it again. I'm reinvigorated.
Now the cuffs are off.
And I have context to be angry.
I'm a smarter person than I was 4 years ago, too.
Me too.
So I'm just like...
I can really see problems with it. And look, here's the thing. We're going to go on another show at some point in the nearest future. Or we don't. Maybe it falls through. I don't know. If that happens, guess what? We're doing it here. Because this isn't going to get wasted.
Because listen, we did homework, and we got to turn in the homework.
But here's two fundamental things I'll just leave you with. Jesse Eisenberg's performance of Lex Luthor is absolute trash. And that film is not a character study of anybody. If it's even close, it would be Batman, but it's definitely not a character study of Superman.
It's a character study of how to make a bad movie.
For that to happen, Superman would have to be a character in that movie, and I'm done. Okay. Look forward to that at another point in time, hopefully. The other thing is, it was kind of a big part of our week. We did Fortnite. The Marvel event and the end of season 4 occurred. We recorded a whole video about it where Ryan and I were playing together. We explored a whole bunch of the Marvel stuff.
Say the words.
Huh?
Say the words.
It's in the link below?
Yeah.
It's in the link below.
Ryan got Dr. Doom, which is awesome. We fought Galactus, which was... Would you like to describe it?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So
he's really big.
So this was our first Fortnite event, and from what I understand, most of these big Fortnite events, they're not long things. Like this Galactus event was 15 minutes. It was basically like a single player mission you did just with a bunch of other people. But I thought it was really fun. And like Galactus, like in terms of video games, there's never been a better Galactus. Like Galactus has never felt like more of an evil presence or like a hungering presence.
Clearly, you didn't play Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
No,
I know what you're
where
referring
you feed
to.
him a cake.
No, sure.
I know what you're referring
billions
to.
and billions of players fighting him at once, though? You know, like I'm just saying.
He's so big.
Like he's literally galactic size.
Yeah, it's really good. Check out that video. I did time mark the
I appreciate
video.
that.
So you can see where every single separate match of ours ends. It's both us playing the Battle Royale matches where there's a bunch of Marvel stuff in the map. It's also us playing Marvel Knockout where we got to use the superheroes' powers in a tournament.
It's just it's a Dragon Ball Z tournament with superpowers. It was so much fun. I miss it already.
Yeah, so the two of us fighting two other players, each armed with random Marvel superhero powers. That was a ton of fun. And then ultimately it ends with the Galactus event. Then that ended. Season 5 started this week. They introduced Mandalorian. Kratos is available right now. The whole season is about bounty hunters. I know this because I'm playing it. I have been hooked into the Fortnite. I'm part of the Fortnite crew.
I have also become a member of the Fortnite crew.
The Fortniters.
The Fortniters.
That's literally a subscription pass thing, which I think is a super dope way for you to get a taste of Fortnite for a month if you don't necessarily want to dive all the way into paying for a $30 battle pass or whatever amount the battle pass is.
Yeah.
You can just pay $12 for 1 month and just check out the season. And if it's not for you, then that's it. You can just back out. It's a lot of fun. They completely rejiggered the map. There's a whole bunch of new dynamics added. All of it is related to bounty hunting. You hunt other players in the game. They hunt you. There's all these new characters added, both original and hints that Master Chief is coming, all this other kind of stuff.
Predator.
No, I wouldn't call Kratos a bounty hunter.
But he is a hunter.
It's
loose.
They're going to use that term real loose.
Yeah, it's very loose. It's like,
sure.
This is a person who kills people. He's a hunter.
Yeah. To get that IP in. But you know who is a hunter, and I'm really hoping that the rumors are true.
Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
Predator might be coming to Fortnite. And there's something big coming. There's definitely a big IP coming that we don't know, because if you scroll through in their battle pass all the way at the end, there's just a bunch of question marks for a epic character. And it hasn't been revealed yet who that's going to be. And I cannot believe that's Master Chief, so we'll see.
They started with Mandalorian and Kratos. So like I can only imagine who they got.
Exactly.
Like
what was that?
But this one is not like the Marvel season, where we got to tell you like, oh, it's based on all these. It's like
Give it a month. Yeah.
It's like all these story quests based around the Marvel events. That's what it was. This is not like that. It's much more in tone with, I think, what Fortnite has been before.
Just killing fools.
A lot more, but you still get your like missions, and that's the thing that I really appreciate, because I think what really put me onto the game is that a friend of mine named Michael sold me on that Fortnite learned that it needed to be a game for the 99 losers in a battle royale, not for the one winner. And I think that it's really gotten good at that. It's really you played a bit of The Mandalorian. You were talking about how well they do the detail.
Yeah.
They really lovingly recreate these characters when they bring in these IPs and everything. And honestly, they're original characters too. They put a lot of work into making them creative. They have their own sound designs. They sound as they're supposed to sound. Like when Kratos is running around, it sounds like him. Mm-hmm. He sounds different from how the other characters move. He has Mimir on his back.
And he looks so good.
Who's making like facial reactions to things going on. Like,
it's good stuff.
I don't know, guys. Fortnite's really fun.
It's like when it's the type of thing where like when you throw enough money at something, you can actually get something cool out of it. It's not just like it's not just brands doing stuff for brands. It's like, yo, we can be simpatico, and like we got a good game, you got a cool look. Let's combine it. And it's like, yo, the Mandalorian has never looked better. Like this is like he looks so good. Baby Yoda's so cute. Kratos looks sick. Kratos doing stupid Doja Cat dances. I love it.
And the only time that you can play Kratos outside of a PlayStation console.
Yeah, you can play Kratos on your Xbox in Fortnite. It's not a big deal, but like I saw that on Twitter. I was like, yo, man, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's the Fortnite report. All right.
Until next week. All right, guys. So I didn't do any movie stuff except for what we already talked about. So I played some video games and I read some comics. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I put 20 hours into that game, and I think I'm approaching the end of it. One, because I didn't buy it, because I bought the Ubisoft Pass, which is, their subscription model where you get all the games. I don't want to spend $240 on the 4 Ubisoft games that came out this year. I can spend $15 and be done with it in a month if I want to. So I'm not enjoying it as much as Odyssey, which is the Greek mythology one. Valhalla is the Vikings one. And even though it put me into a rabbit hole of appreciating Viking culture and stuff, the gameplay itself, it's just like, hey, it's another open world Ubisoft game. And I played all of them. And then Watch Dogs Legions came out and Immortals Phoenix Rising came out, and those are all games that play very similarly. And I'm like, oh man, can't wait to play all those games again. But the stuff that I really like about Valhalla is the open world like story narrative stuff. That's really fun. So I got 3 things down, and these are all side quests that I just thought were fun. And it's probably gonna be the last I'm gonna play of Valhalla. But I just want to talk about cool stuff. There's a side quest where you're traveling and you come across this farm, and there's these 2 kids yelling at each other. And you go up and you talk to the kids, and the kids are like, "We're just having a conversation about if our daddy can beat everyone with one punch." And the kid's like, "Yeah, he sure can." And then the dad walks out and he's like, "What you guys talking about?" And then I'm like, "Yo, I hear you can beat me in one punch." And he's like, "Well, I don't really fight anymore, but if you want to try it, we can do it." And he's One Punch Man. He kills you in one punch every single time. So every time you go back to the house, this guy's like 200 levels higher than you, so I'm never going to beat him. But the kids are like, he's called the Wallop Man. He's like, "Oh, are you back for a wallop?" And it's so fun just to run up to these kids. They're like, "Oh, you want to get your ass beat again?" And the dad's like, "I don't know. You've done this 5 times." It's just a nice little thing that I'm never going to beat. There's a guy called the Property Guy. So I'm traveling in England. They're all Christians, right? I'm a pagan. I come across this man sitting in his chair, and he's like, "Oh, you pagan, let me tell you how good God is. God is so great. I don't need anything in my life, and I'd be happy." So the quest is destroy his shit to prove his worth to God. So I destroy his barn, and he's like, "I don't need that barn. I don't need crops or anything." Then I slay all of his livestock and his cows and his goats, and he's like, "I didn't need to eat. God will nourish me." Then I burn his house down, and he's like, "God's great and all, but maybe," and then it says quest complete, and I just walk away. And he's like, "Oh, God?" And that's the last I saw of that guy. And I just thought it was really funny that I destroyed that guy's life because of God. I was saying, there's the comb lady. There's this guy swimming in a lake, and he's trying to find this comb for this lady that's on the beach. And she's like, "Oh, just keep looking further, darling. I'm sure it's down there." And because I'm the hero, I just go down and I get it. And I bring the comb back to her. And she's like, "Cool, let's bang." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what we're doing here?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I have nothing to do. My husband's been dead for years. So I just throw my comb into the lake and I wait for people to get it. And then I bang them." And she's like, and my character's like, "Isn't that a little bad?" And she's like, "Are you judging me?" And I'm like, "Nope, that's not who I am. Let's bang." And I banged her. And she's like, "I'll see you later." And she throws her comb into the lake. And I'm like, "Man, Vikings are funny." So that's
real quickly, Ryan. Which story says they decided to retell the story of,
Job?
I'm assuming Job?
Yeah. Oh, maybe. It could honestly, Mr. Thorian. I'm not religious or anything. That could be that. He was a nice Christian man with a wallop, so I don't know. So that's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have Immortals Phoenix Rising downloaded, so I will probably be going much into that because that's the Greek mythology game that I'm really looking forward to. It looks really fun. Breath of the Wild, really stoked. Got a bunch of comics, you guys. Got bad news. Let's talk about Endless Winter real quick. Endless Winter. You guys remember the Avengers 1 million BC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's Endless Winter. Cool. Let's talk about King in Black. King in Black.
We knew that though. We knew going into that that's what it was going to be.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show. We were like, "This is Endless Winter." We're like, "Oh yeah, Avengers 1 million BC."
Okay. The art is not good, and it feels like it was written in 2003. Which again, it's written by Ron Mars and Andy Lang, who are guys from way back when. I'm not picking up issue 2. I'm glad, because I don't need to buy another $6 book. It feels like a fill-in event before Future State or whatever that's going to be, and that's unfortunate. So let's move on to King in Black. That's a #1 book. I'm probably not going to buy issue 2 because every single event that I've read is like, okay, so the army comes and then the army wins, and then the villains or the heroes are going to be at a loss until they find something that helps them win again. And this first issue did literally nothing new that I've ever seen before, except have extraordinarily beautiful art by Ryan Stegman. That dude's been killing it. This is probably the best issue he's drawn. It's probably going to get better. The build up to Noel has been fun. Noel's here, and the first issue, he beats the heroes, and then it's the Noelverse. And that's pretty much every event that I've read from Marvel the last couple of years. And I'm like, cool, I hope it's more than that. It felt very kind of generic. Hellions and X Factor. X of Swords is done. X-Men has resumed. Hellions and X Factor are both dope. X-Men still great. What can I say? Deceased Dead Planet. Oh my God, you guys. John Constantine has never been a bigger asshole. And that's something you don't often get to say because he's always an asshole. This guy, without spoiling what's actually happening, to the certain characters, John Constantine is killing gods and heroes of the multiverse to become the person who can stop the deceased virus. He's like, there's no other way we can do this. I have to take matters in my own hands, and I have to kill gods, and I have to take artifacts from other heroes because no one's willing to make the sacrifice needed to save the universe. But at the same time, they have found a cure. So it is a race against time to stop this person from killing all these zombies when they have the cure. So it's like a race against time and these different factions of heroes doing different things. And I'm like, man, Tom Taylor, you really know what you're doing. Please give him a Justice League book. It's not him. Spoilers. It's Josh Williamson. Batman, Catwoman. Hey guys, Brandon, I want to talk about you just for you a second because I know you're not a big fan of the Tom King book, but I do know you like Sunstone, and I know you like hot erotic shit. This is a Black Label book.
Oh boy.
Called out.
I'm not wrong. I like it too.
For the sake of the children, you are wrong, but for the sake of the late night crowd, well, you know.
Hell yeah. Batman Catwoman is the sexiest book I've read this year because it's a Black Label book. Bruce and Selena are just banging, and they're half naked all the time. And Andrea Beaumont, spoilers, the Phantasm's in it. That's the whole point of this book. She's back, and she looks so good. I'm not exaggerating, but I think there is a picture of a character, and I don't want to say who the character is, but there's a picture of a character that might be the best drawing of this character I have ever seen in a comic book. It is so stunning. I want to put it on my wall immediately. It is the Clayman's art is he's been drawing this book for 18 months. This 12-issue book, he's been taking so much time on it, and it is so beautiful. And the story can be I'm not convinced that the story is going to be great yet, but I know the Andrea stuff's good, and I just want to see how that plays out. I listened to a Tom King interview, and I just want to talk about Tom King real quick because there's a lot of scuttlebutt of why his Batman run ended and how it ended. He finally said what happened to his Batman run. He was going to be able to finish his run at 105, but he had to set up everything for 5G. He had to set up Endless Winter. He had to set up another event. And he had to do all of that in the last, the stuff that you read with the Bane stuff. Can you imagine how shitty that could have been? Right. So they said, okay, cool. So instead of doing that, we'll give you your own maxi series to finish it off. And he's like, cool, that's what I want. Can I have Phantasm? And they were like, oh, can I please have Phantasm? And they said yes. So if anything, I'm glad this is the direction it got because as good or bad as that his Batman run is, I think it is a single solitary thing. And if he would have made it to 100, it would have been ruined. It straight up would have been ruined. And I'm just glad that interference didn't happen because man, I'm digging this #1. Can't wait to read issue 2. I think. Oh, this is my last book. FF Road Trip. I thought this was a miniseries, and when I finished the first issue and it said the end, and it said continues in Fantastic Four 27, I'm like, I'm not giving Dan Slott another $1. Screw this. This is the best Fantastic Four book of the year because the only other one is the Dan Slott book. It's a road trip book about the Fantastic Four slowly.
That's not true, isn't there? Isn't there the
antithesis?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's bad.
Right, but I mean, it is another Fantastic Four.
Sorry, it's the best Fantastic Four book, I'll say, because
Dan Slott's not writing that one, right?
What?
Antithesis. He's not writing that one, right?
That's Mark Waid.
Yeah,
I read
Mark
issue
Waid.
1 today because it just dropped on Marvel Unlimited. It's bad. Whatever. This book's about the FF. They go on a road trip, and Reed's doing his thing. Is like, oh, he's gonna go hang out in his lab and not hang out with the kids. And doing that causes the Fantastic Four to rapidly die. And it is body horror to the extreme. I've never seen a Fantastic Four more gross. There are characters combining like the Thing. It is horrifying. And I'm just like,
To clarify, John Carpenter's The Thing.
yes.
Not Fantastic Four, The Thing.
Sorry, yes. Although the Thing and yes, sorry. John Carpenter's The Thing. There is some really disgusting body horror stuff, like with like Sue, who can go invisible, like all of different parts of her body are visible, like muscles and bones and stuff. And Reed is just melting. Ben's skin is falling off. Johnny's literally a flaming skeleton who's on fire and it hurts him. The kids are becoming stupider, and Franklin, his omnipotence is so crazy that he is literally on every planet in every room at all times at once. So there are literally billions of Franklins just everywhere. And it's just like, yeah, Dan Slott wanted to take away his mutant power because he's a lazy writer. And I'm like, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad, you guys, because this book was so good. Definitely buy Road Trip. It's a one shot. If you want a good Fantastic Four book, it's Chris Cantwell. He's killing it with Doom and Iron Man. Chris Cantwell is just like, he's my guy right now at Marvel, man. I hope he gets more stuff.
He's an up and coming star.
He definitely
Tom Taylor over there.
for real. Like Iron Man, Doctor Doom, and Reed. Those are 3 very egotistical characters, and Chris Cantwell is right now the guy who gets that better than anyone. Who can write like really complex characters who are good guys or bad guys, but who have some shit as well. I love it.
Did you read the latest issue of Immortal Hulk, where the last page was, so here's the thing?
Yes. I think I tweeted that, and I'm just like, you son of a bitch, Al Ewing. Oh, it's so good. Because it's the Thing in the
Thing.
It's like, so here's the thing. I'm like, oh, yeah. Hey, guys, also read Immortal Hulk. It's a good book.
Yeah, good book.
That is me. That's an hour in. Read comic books.
That's it. I was going to say something else, but I changed my mind. So let's
no.
move into our B&B. Let's get a helping hand of B&B. I thought this beginning was going to go quicker, so I actually spared no expense when it came to this news, and we're just talking about everything.
Oh yeah.
So first off, some sad news. Hugh Keays-Byrne, I hope I pronounced that right. Most recently played Immortan Joe in Mad Max Fury Road. He was also in the first Mad Max as the antagonist there. He passed away this week at the age of 73.
Yeah. That's a shame because that Furiosa sequel is happening soon. And I'm pretty sure she's directly tied to that guy. So that's a shame he won't be able to reprise that role.
Yeah.
He was one of Australia's most favored actors.
Yeah.
He apparently fought very hard for humanitarian and environmental issues. So he was a real activist.
He was a good guy. It's cool.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Immortan Joe.
Okay. WarnerMedia stuffs. Got a lot coming from WarnerMedia. By the way, let's talk about CCXP real quickly. I didn't put this in the news.
Talk about what?
CCXP.
What's that?
It's a Brazilian Comic-Con.
Oh.
Warner's released a first look at Godzilla vs. Kong.
No, they didn't. Don't lie to me.
They did.
No, I know they did, but no, they didn't. No, they didn't.
So real quickly, for those of you who don't know, I've been talking about a bit on Twitter. Every single time there's news about Godzilla vs. Kong, it's a new freaking logo.
How many logos have they had?
So many. Really ridiculous amount.
I genuinely think 9. And let's clarify. It's not that they're changing the logo so much; they're changing the banner of the look of the logo.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when they announced what we're going to talk about, they released another new logo, and I was like, "Hey, we got another one!" And then when we were like, CCXP's coming, they're going to show us the trailer. They got to show us the trailer, right? We got some Godzilla vs. Kong news, guys. Well, bam, logo.
Wow.
We're like, are you kidding?
It's going to happen sooner or later.
Hey guys, here's some news. It's a new logo. It's like,
and then a clip, and then like a brief clip of the two of them roaring in different locations.
Yeah, 1 second of each of them. Like, yep, that's what they look like. Cool.
Yep.
Glad to see they haven't changed.
Actually,
Anyway.
Kong.
He's gotten bigger.
You got a better idea. No, he's got a burliness to him.
He's got a beard.
He has to get bigger to fight.
No, I know. It's just
He's got a beard.
Yeah, he's got his beard going.
Old man Kong.
Old man Kong. That's your favorite thing?
It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite trope.
This Kong's got to come out of retirement for one last job.
One last Godzilla.
There was also a brief moment where a lot of people think they saw Destroya, so that's kind of cool.
In those 2 seconds?
Somewhere.
That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie.
What? Destroyer?
I hope that's not true.
I really
Well,
don't.
okay, Destroya. Real quickly, Destroya has been rumored for a long time because the newspaper articles and the end do lead into Godzilla vs. Kong. So the Oxygen Destroyer and Ghidorah's head have been heavily rumored to like create Destroya.
I'm not against him. I just don't think anybody saw him in those 2 seconds of footage.
Yeah, and you would think that we would have Mechagodzilla before we get Destroya.
No, Mechagodzilla. No, I saw King of the Monsters. Mechagodzilla would work in this franchise.
You must get aliens.
They really changed the rules on us in Godzilla versus Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah. Either you get alien, yeah, because we got
Mechagodzilla is also rumored because in the newspapers at the end of King of the Monsters, they say that there is a robotic monster on Skull Island.
Gigan.
That Monarch has been working on.
Oh, it is Mechagodzilla then.
Or it's both, and it's going to be too stuffed.
They got to fight something.
Here's the thing. You can't overstuff kaiju movies.
That's true.
Because they don't have character arcs necessarily to the point where like nobody goes Destroy All Monsters had too many kaiju. Everyone's like, man, that movie had so many kaiju, that was nuts.
You're right. Destroy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have other real news to talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Brandon froze.
This Destroya talk made him.
Oh no,
he's super frozen.
Almost certainly is not the American military-industrial complex.
No, that's too real.
Hello. Not.
You're
Hi,
back.
Brandon.
What's up?
Are you good? Oh, he's lagging.
Oh, you got like a 12-minute delay.
Oh, he's lagging.
Where was I?
I don't know.
I'm in the upside down. Yeah.
The Phantom Zone.
There he goes.
He's being about. All
Bounce,
right, let me see
bounce,
what's
bounce.
the story instead.
Didn't the end of Godzilla have like Terrence? No.
Yeah. I mean, that's not his name, but yeah. I know what you're saying.
Tywin.
Tywin looking at the King Ghidorah head that survived.
The dumb
he's
one.
like,
The game is on again.
yeah, exactly.
Am I back?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're back.
What's up?
Oh boy, that was fun.
All right, what's next with WarnerMedia?
What's up in our news?
HBO Max was big in the news this week as WarnerMedia announced that their entire 2021 film slate will be released.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you. Will be released on HBO Max and where open theaters the same day.
Hell yeah, where are those theaters at?
Definitely drive-ins, and then wherever you are, it depends.
And then obviously overseas.
So literally everywhere that's not America.
Yeah.
Which HBO Max is not available overseas, so I'm sure that's why they decided to do do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And no increased charge if you're an HBO Max subscriber.
Yep, for every single one.
Hey man, global pandemic.
I said something on Twitter because like at first I was like, man, ruining cinema, but then I was like, you know what? I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. You want to watch a movie wherever you want to watch it. I don't care.
Welcome to the good life, Brandon.
What I've been upset about, what I have always been upset about, is the fact that we were at this position. We were at this place in our history that was so fundamentally screwed up by nobody in charge of these decisions.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I lost my job, I didn't lose it because of competence. I lost it because someone else lost it for me. It's like this.
Yeah, that's true. the only things that get me about this are just I think it was a little premature to call the entire year. I could have understood up to the summer or the end of the summer.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little premature to just commit to this promise now, because even if we get the vaccines and
Dune
everything
is in
goes
like
back
11
to
months.
solid points in the summer, that means that Dune has this treatment, regardless of if all the theaters are open and everybody's going. They have to hold to this promise now.
Yeah.
Or people are going to be like, "Whoa, what?"
But I mean, if theaters are open in a year, then we just go see Dune.
No, exactly. I'm saying like that's not, but like they will not get drawbacks when they need it, or theaters don't get the benefit, as much. Because the other thing is like theaters don't get the benefit of people going to those theaters once they're open to see these movies, because they have the option of doing it at home. So it's hurting that return form for them too. The other thing about it is that it's the same problem I have with Soul, which is that fundamentally, and I know Brandon's writing an article about it, is that fundamentally these are not actually free. Someone else is paying a price for us. We're getting to watch it for free, but that's because somebody's eventually getting laid off. A bunch of people are. Lower level people. They're going to get laid off for this because they're making it so that these films aren't turning as much of a profit as they should be. And the artists aren't getting their work acknowledged the way that they should be. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with asking for $5 or $10 from every person who's subscribed to these streaming services for these movies to help support the industry and keep people from getting laid off, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It is not a 1-for-1. But like a whole bunch of layoffs happened at Disney. We all know about them. There's a lot of people who worked at Disneyland for 30 years and lost their jobs with no guarantee of being returned to it. And they maybe didn't have to if Soul wouldn't be given for free.
Because they need to make $200 million back. Yeah.
Real quickly, I want to mention two things. Real quickly, which historian talks about. I'm not going to read the whole comment, but basically talks about this could help the rewatchability of movies. No longer you saw it in theaters. Oh, I feel like watching it. Put it on HBO Max. There's that.
That is actually dope, because like, what if I love Dune? I'm going to love Dune, and like, can I watch Dune again and I immediately go home and just watch it on my TV?
That is really cool.
That's hella dope.
And the second thing, Ben, I said two things. And the second thing I want to touch on is that in my article I say, and I firmly believe this, that it is entirely possible that theater going will become a more pure experience, because the people who go are going to be the ones that really want to be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And before I forget, to go on Sparks' first point about how if a movie say we get the vaccine and everything somewhat returns normal, where we can go outside and not worry about catching a deadly disease, and we can go to movie theaters again.
By the way, it can give you erectile dysfunction. Don't get COVID. Wear your masks.
Oh wow, damn. Okay. But say that happens, but I could say we go see Dune and we could, but it's like, oh, why would you, let me
Sparks is what.
Ben, continue. It's okay, Ben. You can continue.
I'm pretty sure that even though the option for me to stay at home and watch it for free would be there, I would still be totally fine with going outside and paying a movie to see in a theater, because especially the four of us, we miss doing that. We would give money to go outside and see a movie theater in a theater with a crowd full of people again. That's one of the things a lot of us miss. I keep seeing posts on Facebook and 9gag and everywhere where it's an empty theater hall. They're walking to their auditorium and they're like, damn, I miss this. That feeling of going to see a new film that you want to go see.
So the Coca-Cola commercial in the beginning of every AMC movie where they're just like,
oh yeah, the lame Coke commercials. Man, I remember. I miss those lame commercials in the front. I miss sitting down and watching those two realtors who followed Ryan on Instagram.
They still come to my restaurant. They're great.
Yeah, I miss seeing those commercials. I miss judging the other ones because for their poorly made commercials. I just miss going to the theater with my friends and hanging out. So
yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
I mean, even though there will be an option for me to stay at home and watch in the safety of my own home, on my couch, in my pajamas, I would still be like, no, I'm going to put on pants. I'm going to go outside because this is going to be an event. Because not only am I going to go see a movie, I'm also probably going to get dinner with Fanny, and I'm also going to see my friends again. I want that. I miss that. Give me that back.
Again, because, this is such a circumstance.
If you want that too, buy your masks.
There you go, buy your mask. It's just such a circumstantial thing. But let's say in 6 months, things do get better. But what if I in that weekend, In the Heights comes out? I don't want to have to go see In the Heights in the theaters if I'm not feeling it. I just watch it in my room. Just the ability that's there for you is so nice and so it's like a Christmas gift almost in a way, in like a stupid way. You know what I mean? Like this is for a lot of people. This is gonna save their year because they like we all love going to movies. We can't go to movies. Like if I couldn't ever see Dune or Wonder Woman, I'd be pissed.
Yes,
but like they're giving us the option, and that yes, there's obviously circumstances, but like,
and also it's only for this upcoming year.
Right. So that's the other thing. That's the other thing that I was going to mention. The other part of the news is that right now Warner Bros. Is just saying this is just this year. We're only looking at it this year. But you kind of imagine like if this works really well for them, they're going to do it next year too.
If it's successful,
like, and also it depends on what the world looks like come say May or June. We don't know what's going to happen. So,
Go ahead.
I was going to say if they say, okay, 21 slate's going to be on HBO Max and theaters open up again, people go, and it's like, yeah, we're still going to honor our promise, but once the film's coming out for 2022, since COVID's gone and people could go to theaters, we're not going to do that. And it's like, okay, fine, we can go to theaters again.
That's the Batman. Like, I think by 2022, like, I don't think they want the Batman on the streaming service.
No.
The movies that I'm sure that they're looking at this like, is there any way we could just keep the movies that were guaranteed $1 billion?
Yeah.
And all of that is I agree with. Like it's a really nice thing. And I also kind of understand why HBO Max is hesitant to put a $5 or $10 price tag on these films because they are a $15 subscription service, one of the most expensive out there, and most people have not had it. Mm-hmm. And this definitely is helpful to them to get a bunch more subscribers. That's also part of the goal. So in a sense, like you're getting all those $15 a month subscribers. So maybe that justifies it because you're going to get a whole bunch more people, hopefully, doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still think that there is no harm, especially with the $15 price tag, in a $5 ask for you to watch the movie for the month, for the week, whatever. There's just no reason to hold back. There's in the industry, there's above the line workers and there's below the line workers. And I'm telling you, below the line workers somewhere, even if we don't hear about it, are paying the price for this freedom. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think that was necessary. I think there was a way to at least ask for a little bit to support these films, to support the artists, to make it so that people who don't deserve to get laid off don't get laid off when there's already plenty of us laid off in the country.
You have to wonder that because Mulan was the first like experiment, and it didn't do what like it got the money, but it didn't them what they wanted. So I'm wondering if they were just so scared at all to even put a price on it with their $15 a month thing. Like even if like I agree like. The entire Warner Brothers slate being for free is crazy.
So here's the reason why I think that argument at least doesn't hold a ton of water is because Amazon Prime has been doing this the whole pandemic. They've been doing $20 rentals. Come Away, which we talked about last week, did it. That's a $20 rental because it's in certain theaters, but otherwise you can rent it at home. And I'm not even saying go for the 20. I'm saying go for 5.
Yeah.
Like just something. There's no reason to do it for nothing because someone else is paying the price.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all.
No, I feel you.
All right.
We'll talk about Wonder Woman in a month, baby.
Woo woo.
Thanks to CCXP, we actually got a lot of news of what's coming from March at DC Comics. This is the post-Future State lineup so far.
Oh my God. I'm going to be so broke. DC's doing it.
Which historian says, I mean, you're making the exception that even having an extra price on it could trickle down, however. Let's not get into that.
That's true, but it's something.
Yeah.
All right, so going forward, we have Green Lantern. Green Lantern will be written by Jeffrey Thorne, with art by Tom Rainey. Now, here's the thing. They're also the guys writing the Future State story.
Hey, spoilers! Literally everybody's doing.
You missed my joke.
It's Brandon. I'm sorry. The jokes aren't always. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you'll see a pattern.
Okay.
Yes, Justice League Dark will be written by Ram V, continuing on from his run right now, with art by Germanico. I think that's one of 2 series that are coming back: Batman, James Tynion, and Ram V, Justice League Dark. Everyone else has been wiped clean. Teen Titans Academy, Tim Sheridan, with art by Rafa Sandoval.
Rafa Sandoval's currently doing Wonder Woman, and his art is insane.
Nice. This is a new title, not a relaunch title. again the Future State team, but this time more directly leading up to the Future State story. So it's how the Teen Titans Academy was set up. Suicide Squad, Robbie Thompson and Eduardo Pansica.
Oh, real quick, Red X is in that Teen Titans Academy book.
Yes, I'm excited for that. I'm picking the Future State
Excited
one up.
for literally every book.
Swamp Thing is coming back. Ram V with Mike Perkins.
God, oh my God, Mike Perkins, guys. They're saying all the right words. They're saying it's like it's horror, it's gross, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting an ongoing Swamp Thing book again.
This was announced a couple weeks ago, but I totally missed it. Wonder Girl will be getting a TV series, not TV series. Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman in the Wonder Woman Future State book, is getting a mini series origin story set in contemporary times called Wonder Girl from Joelle Jones.
God, Joelle Jones is so good.
Wonder Woman is being relaunched with Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad with art by Travis Moore. Again, the Future State team.
Guys, this is a woman writing a main Batman title. This is the first time this has happened. Thank you,
This is
DC.
Wonder Woman. This is Wonder Woman.
Oh, you're right. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Wonder Woman.
No, I'm saying Batman. This is the first woman to write Batman ongoing.
No, Becky Cloonan is writing Wonder Woman.
Oh, but there is a lady writing Batman, though.
Yes, there is.
Sorry, there's a lot of names in the world. I'm still happy about it.
Okay.
This looks cool. They released the thing. I'm excited for the direction of this. Detective Comics, as Ryan jumped ahead, written by Mariko Tamaki, with art by Dan Mora. Again, as Ryan stated, the first female writer on a Batman book.
I literally was like, how many weeks ago I was saying, why hasn't Becky Cloonan been given a Batman book yet? I was literally just saying this because she's so effing good. If I'm being honest, oh my God. I wish she was.
Mariko Tamaki.
God damn it, there are too many people. Oh my God. It's not going to talk anymore.
No, go ahead.
I don't remember what
You're
I was talking
excited.
about. I know.
You were saying just like last week, Mariko Tamaki, you've been loving it.
On what she's been doing. Yes,
she's been doing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's been doing Wonder Woman. But Becky Cloonan is who I'm actually talking about. She hasn't been given something like this, and I'm excited.
She's been given Wonder Woman
Yes.
in place of Mariko. Yeah.
Yes.
Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora were the team behind the Detective Comics 1027 story, The Gift, which I really enjoyed. So I'm glad to see them getting an ongoing.
Hell yeah.
And hell yeah, Dan Mora. Harley Quinn is coming back with Stephanie Phillips, and Riley Rossmo. So
Riley, so good.
again, the Future State team, and Batman Superman was just announced today from the Future State team of Jean Luen Young and Ivan Reis.
I love that Jean is on a Batman Superman book. I wish it was just the main book and not the side book.
They haven't announced who's going to Superman yet.
I spoilers. I know who's on Superman, and they just haven't announced it yet.
Who was writing the Future State?
It's Mark Waid. He's not writing the Future State, but Mark Waid's taking over Superman, and Williamson, who's doing Flash, is taking over Justice League.
I figured Williamson because he's doing the Future State story, but where'd you hear the Mark Waid thing?
Bleeding Cool rumors, which are these are all the rumors that were there too.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Would have rather Jean Luen Young.
Hold up. So is this a continuation where the Batman Superman books are coming out now, or is this a new number one?
It's a continuation.
It's a continuation. They're not relaunching with new number ones this time around. They're just continuing the number.
But it's a new author, so I'm pretty sure that's a good jumping on point because I might be wanting to pick that up because I really freaking love Jean Luen Yang when he writes Superman.
Yeah.
As Ryan said, yeah, shit, my wallet.
Yeah.
Ow, my wallet.
I've been banging this drum for I don't know how long now. Like DC's output and their diversity output has just been real weak. And if this was what Future State was always going to be, and they just truncated it down because they got scared, then I'm a fool. Because if this was going to be like an entire year, it feels like that's what they're doing now. They're regressing back to 5D, but just calling it new number ones and new relaunches and stuff. I am on board for every single one of these books. If they're good or not, we'll see. But like, this is almost all new, brand new people. And I couldn't be happier. Like this is what DC needs so bad.
That's what we talked about before. Like, I really like a lot of DC, but even DC's current output. But like, even I acknowledge, like, I want more diversity in the line. I'm not just talking about POC or women diversity. I'm talking like just do different things, bring in fresh voices, bring in fresh people. Yeah. And that's when I saw this list, I was like, yes, hell yes.
It's like finally.
And it's the thing of like, we have the Future State, which is the future of this DC universe. And then we're going to, okay, how do we get there? And that actually be a story for every character because like the multiverse exists and stuff, right? So every character has a different ending, but it doesn't mean that it can't still matter right now. That's just I am in love with it so much. I love it.
Definitely gonna pick up that Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to be excited about, which is nice. I hope it really turns the tide. It would be nice, even though I can't afford to buy all the comics. As I was just lamenting to Ryan the other day, I'm like, I literally wish I was buying almost everything at Marvel. Because most of it's by great writers, and I just can't afford to.
Yeah.
Every week, Ryan goes, like, "You guys gotta buy this book." I'm like, I wish I could.
Yeah. I hear you. I was just telling him that, like, there's some great titles. Like, honestly, I was telling him probably going to drop Immortal Hulk, not because I don't love it, but because I'm planning to pick it up in trade, and it doesn't need my support or help. And I'm scraping the barrel, and I'm like, I gotta cut things.
Why do you think I'm not buying all the X-Men titles?
See, guys, I only have one hobby, and it's comic books. So, like, I don't buy anything else. So, like, I don't have to worry about that. I don't buy movies, or I have a girlfriend or have a life. So, you know.
Girl,
they got progressively sadder.
Well, that's the truth of my life.
No, the girlfriend is like a second, bank account.
I thought he was good because he was going to Brandon for video.
Away.
And he was because I thought he was going to come to me because he was going to go to Brandon for movies. I thought he was going to go to me for video games.
Dan, I play more video games than all three of you like combined.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
He just spends less money doing it.
Yes, because I have a computer.
Hey, we all like the Arrowverse. It's a cool verse over at the Arrowverse.
I used to watch those shows.
Hey, I still watch those shows.
Hey, well, get ready to watch
watching those shows.
Yeah.
Well, get ready.
You're a queer. Sorry.
Well, get ready to watch a new one. As Brian Michael Bendis' character Naomi, the new Naomi from Wonder Comics, who took the world by storm that nobody remembers, is being developed into a CW TV series from Ava DuVernay, who will write the project with Arrow screenwriter Jill Blankenship.
Good for man. Hey, listen, dope for Bendis. Dope for getting a black superhero teen on the screen. But it's like, is she connected to the CW?
She's connected to Superman in the books. I don't know how. I haven't read it.
I forgot.
No, it should be clear, however, this has not been greenlit yet. They're just developing it.
There's like working like see if it works.
I wouldn't be surprised, considering Black Lightning's on its way out, that they want another mainstay. I know we've got a black woman coming in as Batwoman, but
isn't there a
they want another main black character,
especially
one who's like always been black, that kind of thing. Ava DuVernay has a pretty solid track record. I talked about her documentary, The 13th.
I wouldn't call Wrinkle in Time very good.
I wouldn't blame her for it, though. I think that script is bad. I don't think the direction is bad.
Okay. She's also still working on New Gods with Tom King.
Like, visually, I think that movie is exactly what it was supposed to be based on the book, and I think the direction was good.
Fair. That's fair.
So I don't hang that on her.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything else from her that I didn't enjoy. I think she's very insightful. I really, really like that documentary she made. So I think that she's a great choice for spearheading a black teen superhero. On the CW, also having her there makes me feel like the quality is going to be like up a notch, just like Black Lightning is.
Yeah.
It's also just really important to have people of color behind the voices of characters of color, because that makes a really big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually stoked for that. I think that'd be cool.
And maybe if we like the show, we'll give us a chance to read that comic, see if we like it.
Yeah.
John Diggle is returning to the Arrowverse in 5 episodes.
He's been gone.
Well, Arrow ended,
Arrow.
So he's not
bad.
coming back to a main show, but they're saying, he's just going to be on everything else, though.
Good.
He's going to show up in Superman and Lois, Supergirl, The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Nice.
So yeah.
Does he become a Green Lantern?
Specifically, they made some weird language around the Legends of Tomorrow appearance, where it sounds like he won't necessarily be playing Diggle in Legends of Tomorrow. Is he going to be a Green Lantern? I don't see how he can't be
at this point, right? Like, you got to do it. You got to do it, right?
I'm like, everybody knows that we want it. It feels like the one thing to look forward to this upcoming year with the CW shows, because I don't know what they're going to do about a crossover.
Yeah.
And we've got too many shows on their way out.
In our interview with Mark Guggenheim, he alludes to the decision to give him a green glowing box at the end of season 8. So
yeah, I'm almost certain we're getting a Green Lantern from him, and I think that's awesome.
That is dope.
Guys, remember there's a Plastic Man movie in development?
Nope.
No,
Yeah, there's a Plastic Man movie in development.
Oh, yeah?
not anymore.
Cool. Except it has a new...
Does it come out after Cyborg or before Flash?
Neither. The Trench.
Kat Vasco has been brought on to rewrite the script.
Okay.
And it will now be gender swapped. It'll be a female-led film.
So Plastic Woman.
Well, they didn't say that Plastic Man will be gender bent. They just alluded to that he might not be the main character.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're making the main character the side character.
So we're gonna have a movie that has Plastic Man in it, but they're calling it the Plastic Man movie, even though Plastic Man is just in it. It's not focused on him.
That's the movie title.
Well, I mean, like Batman Returns is a Batman movie, but he's in that movie for like 30 minutes. That's a villain movie, baby. Maybe it's like that. Maybe it focuses on someone else, and he's just like in the scenes being goofy.
Okay.
Or it is Plastic Woman. Yeah,
Or it's Plastic Woman. Who knows? Or just will never get made.
Yeah.
That's the most likely, Ellen. Let's be real.
Okay, that's fun. That's enough of that.
Is Plastic Man Dibney? Oh no, that's Elongated Man.
That's the Elongated Man.
No. Plastic Man is way cooler than
Plastic Man is the one that can turn into everything.
Plastic Man is what was it? Oh, it was Deceased, where he did the really gross thing. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
You guys like the Toxic Avenger?
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. There's a stage musical.
Yeah.
And I watched one of my friends play the Toxic Avenger in it, and it was actually really good.
Toxic Avenger rules.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Well, Peter Dinklage has been cast in the remake from Legendary Pictures. The film is being produced by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hurst, the directors of the original film.
Yep.
And this one will be directed by Macon Blair. I forgot.
Who did stuff?
What did he do? I don't remember.
Okay.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Toxic Avenger is from Troma Pictures. Troma, they are the lowest budget of low budget like genre movies. I grew up loving Troma movies. There's a movie called Tromeo and Juliet, which is written and directed by James Gunn, which is a super like really ridiculous like gay Romeo and Juliet like joke movie. That's really funny and really clever. And that's where James Gunn got to start at.
Troma also went on to do like Poltergeist, right?
Yes, Poltergeist and stuff. Yeah. Nuke 'Em High.
Oh my God.
5 Toxic Avenger movies.
Um,
Surf Nazis Must Die.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't actually. We had never seen him before. He's been an actor mostly. He was like in Green Room and Murder and Gold.
That's an intense movie, so that's cool.
The Hunt. He's an actor in Hunt. So
Must Die?
It's a real movie. Yes, Troma makes movies like Poultrygeist, where it's about a killer chicken. Like they are low budget genre movies.
That's generous.
Yeah. Yes, it is generous. But they're made out of love and fun, never to be serious. Like they're joke movies. But the Toxic Avenger, it's about this nerdy kid who gets basically murdered by these kids as a prank, and like nuclear waste falls on him. He becomes this toxic superhero. And it's like this nerdy kid who turns into he has a deep, great voice like this, but he looks like a monster. So it's going to be Peter Dinklage's voice with probably some like super big stuntman or something. But you're going to see sad little Peter Dinklage get like beat up and like turn into a monster. And then he's going to get revenge on these assholes. I'm stoked. If they take it as like not seriously as those original movies, this is going to be like really fun.
Yeah.
It's just such a stupid concept. Like
it is.
It's going to be great. I love it. I want to check the musical out. Wow.
There's a gimmick about the musical where the mayor, she's a woman, and his mother are played by the same actress. And there's this one part where they have a phone call.
Oh my God.
And she has to like do this whole antic between the two sides of the stage and the way they light it because of like costume stuff and such to play both characters.
I'll find it on YouTube.
Okay.
Hell yeah. There was a Toxic Avenger cartoon. That's like, it's just, man, weird.
Okay, Hawkeye news. We got some Hawkeye news. The Disney Plus Hawkeye series has started filming.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Haley Steinfeld is not playing Kate Bishop.
No, she's playing Clintina.
They didn't deny it. They just never said it.
She's Clintina.
But we have proof.
I know. Like I said, they didn't deny it. They just didn't say you're right.
It's his new niece that we've never heard of. Who I would just is everything like Kate Bush.
I was super happy to see Haley Steinfeld on set with a bow and arrow. I was like, hell yeah.
I'm just happy to see Pizza Dog. Literally F everything else. The fact that Pizza Dog is in there means they are directly doing the David Aja, Matt Fraction, the greatest Hawkeye book ever made. Spoiler alert, Hawkeye has had nothing but great runs for a decade. Jeff Lemire wrote him. Kelly Thompson wrote him after that. Hawkeye's been surprisingly amazing. What's the shitty actor's name? What's his name?
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, whatever. I wish he got recasted, whatever.
I like Jeremy Renner in the role, honestly, but I'm not too familiar with his comic book character. But they didn't say Haley Steinfeld, which was stupid, but they did say who else is in the cast. We've been hearing rumors about this one.
This is wild.
Florence Pugh will be reprising her role as Yelena Belova in Black Widow.
This is not where I thought she was going to show up next.
This is some connecting, baby.
Vera Farmiga will play Eleanor Bishop.
Crazy. Her mama.
Woo woo.
Froffy will play Kadsi the clown.
The clown. Okay.
The Tony Dalton will play Jack Duquesne, or the Swordsman, as he's known in the comics.
Bro, we just read about the Swordsman. Mm-hmm. The Swordsman's gonna be in the show. Oh, bro, Marvel's cool, you guys. God.
Alaqua Cox will play Maya Lopez, or Echo, who's a Daredevil character.
Bro, this is the sickest news ever. Are you kidding me?
Real quickly, some background on this character. Native American individual with the ability to perfectly mimic her opponent's movements, actually played by a Native American actress.
Yes, she is.
This is
Hell yeah.
I didn't think Hawkeye was going to be the dopest show ever, but apparently it's going to be dope. Like, we got Black Widow, we got Echo, we got the clown who's just like a low level super fun villain, like
the
swordsman. Like, oh my god, Jacques going to be in the show. Is it going to be French? Who knows?
Zahn McClarnon will play William Lopez. So very cool.
Have you ever read a Hawkeye comic?
Nope.
I'm going to make it a book club because literally I can give you any Hawkeye book from the last 10 years. And they're all good.
What we should do is the Matt Fraction run, because there's only 5 volumes. We should do it as a Figner book club series.
Oh yeah, but that's.
But we have a wheel.
That's true. Have a wheel.
We could just do it when the show comes out.
We could just do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We make our own rules.
That's true. It's our own show. We can do whatever we want.
We do what we want.
Okay. Invincible. What?
I said this is chaos.
This is democracy. Invincible has a huge cast.
What a week.
And now it has an even bigger cast.
What a week.
As Mahershala Ali has been cast as Titan. Clancy Brown has been cast as Damian Darkblood. Nicole Byer, nailed its own Nicole Byer, as Vanessa and Fiona. Jeffrey Donovan, Burn Notice's own, as Machine Head. Jonathan Groff, Frozen's own, as Rick Sheridan.
God, this cast.
John Hamm as Steve, and Jimon Hansu as the Martian Emperor, and Ezra Miller as D.A. Sinclair.
Good Lord.
That is an insane cast. That's one of those shows, like, what was the show we were watching where literally every character was famous? Oh my god.
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal, yeah. Like, every side character, or Harley Quinn, like, every character, whether big or small, is voiced by somebody mad famous, and I'm like, oh, they believe in this show. That's why. Invincible's, it's truly one of the best comics, like, superhero comics ever made. Like, we'll get to it eventually, but, like, the fact that it's getting a animated rated R show that is true to what it is, like with Kirkman involved, like in Seth Rogen doing it, like, God, this is going to be a win. It's going to be such a win. Oh my God.
Heart of Stone is going to be a new film from Greg Rucka, starring Gal Gadot. It's described as a new James Bond type film from Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka wrote the script with Alison Schroeder, who is the Oscar nominated, I think won, screenwriter for Hidden Figures.
Oh, yo, Greg Rucka's straight up just like writing original scripts now.
Yeah,
because like he did Old Guard, which is a comic he did, but like now that dude's just in Hollywood. Good for him. He's getting the big bucks. Good job, Greg.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I would love like more spy stuff. I don't think we get enough of it, and
True Lies 2, baby.
True what?
True Lies 2, baby.
Dude, there was a rumor for a long time that was happening, and I'm like, I would love old Arnie and old Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh my god,
they should make a Netflix series.
Oh my god, it's Elijah Dushku grown up and she's a spy. Ah, do it.
Deserves work.
She does.
All right. I don't think anyone's too interested in this one. But Oscar Isaac has been cast in Metal Gear Solid.
So for those of you who are listening, hold up. For those of you who are listening, Ryan is freaking the F out right now.
It's. Is there any more to talk about, or is that just like the thing?
I mean, there's more to the news.
Oh yeah, go for it first. Yeah.
Oh, not to this news, but like more to the episode.
Yeah. No, of course. So Jordan Vogt Roberts, whose last movie was Kong Skull Island, he made that 3 years ago. Since then, this is what he's been working on. If you follow him on Twitter or Instagram, that dude is constantly putting out like behind the scenes a pre-production of like, or what's it called? Like art, what's it called? Like
Concept
Concept art.
Concept art. Thank you. Lost it. Yeah. It's like concept art of nonstop. That dude has been working on the script. When we went to Comic-Con in 2018 and I went to a panel he was on, I talked to him afterwards and I asked him about the movie. He's like, the script's great. I'm just waiting to get it made. And we're finally at a point where it's really happening. This is my favorite video game franchise. And this is such a strange franchise that they could F it up so easily. Like truly, like it is the weirdest Japanese military surrealism stuff like you will ever see. Giant flaming whales in the sky as Afghanistan's at war. Like truly bonkers shit. And the fact that like this guy believes in the product so hard and he got the casting that he wanted, because if you guys follow him on Twitter, like I said, he made a thing to Boss Logic years ago saying, hey, can you make Oscar Isaac as Snake as just like a fake thing? And then it's actually happening. Like,
didn't he say later, it was like, when I did this, when I asked Boss Logic to do this, we were talking to him.
Yeah. And like, that makes me think like this movie, like obviously they've been working on it for a while, but like this movie, that means if there's casting, that means it's shooting soon. And that means like, I'm just giddy. Like but you know what's really great about this, guys? Because none of you have played Metal Gear, but Solid Snake has a brother called Liquid Snake, and he has a third brother who's the president of the United States, and they all look the same. He also has a father who is a clone, the father cloned and had all these children that look just like him. So this is a world where we're gonna have Oscar Isaac playing 5 versions of himself. And if that doesn't sound bonkers to you, what's Hollywood anymore? God, the president has Dr. Octopus arms, and you fight him as a boss battle on top of the World Trade Center. It's we can't do that anymore. It's wild. I'm so excited, guys. Like, I want to do a basement arcade with Metal Gear someday with you, Ben, but that is the most daunting task on the planet.
That's an investment.
It's only 12 hours a game. It's fine.
Yeah, well, also, I need to come to your place to play it.
Yes, but that's in the future. But like, this is the one video game thing that like I am so scared that if they try this and they mess it up, then that's it. That'll be it for Hollywood, because this is one of those things that it's so weird and so bonkers. You can't just reboot it. It's not like a Spider-Man where there's 100 incarnations. There's Metal Gears 1 through 5, and there's a very strict story. And it involves lots of cloning and lots of sadness and lots of love blooming on the battlefield. So I'm just so excited, you guys.
Very cool.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I just threw this one in here, so we'll just bounce on through this one. Cinelix has apparently heard that there is a Star Wars The High Republic animated series in the works.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What I will say is like in the works, I think means like very early on, because they're going to wait to know how people receive that before they even go, make an animated show. Yeah. I think we're a long way away from seeing it, if it's even true. I'm sure there will be one. Eventually, I think it's inevitable. But sure.
I mean, like, I just want my Rebels follow-up, guys.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect it like anytime soon, but like, being in the works means like, we're talking about making a show, and you know how long animated shows take to make. Yeah. So, those books are coming out soon. So like, I'm sure.
Speaking of books, they announced the second adult book, basically the sequel to Charles Soule's, called The Rising Storm. This will be written by Cavan Scott and actually won't be connected to Charles Soule's run. The intention of the books are to bounce around the High Republic area and tell self-contained stories within the one volume.
Nice, that's fine.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the description. That's too long.
Jedis are old and they got an enemy.
That's actually it. Okay, I thought this was really cool, so I wanted to talk about this. Elliot Page.
Yep.
To the boys club, baby.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's cookies.
I saw this on the Instagram, and I saw Elliot Page. I'm like, who's Elliot Page?
I follow Elliot Page, and so I woke up one morning. I was like, who the Who did I follow?
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter with pictures, so I immediately got what we were doing.
Elliot Page, the actor for Juno, Umbrella Academy, has announced the pronouns are he and they. He, they.
Yep.
That's really cool.
A couple of guys being dudes. I love it.
I'm very happy with the reception that he received. For the most part.
Of course, there's going to be the jerks, but like,
I also love the take that's like, so Inception's just a little more homoerotic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, because when I saw Elliot's Twitter post and with the nice long statement, and I was like, oh, I'm hoping to see something nice, and of course, the first thing that pops up is a bunch of jerks.
What I thought was interesting that I want to talk about is that the LGBT community, not the wider, more letter community, the LGBT community got very up in arms because they're mostly transphobe, and they said that we've lost a lesbian icon.
I follow a bunch of like very left-leaning political commentaries, and there was a lot of them like responding to some really trashy videos that I saw that I'm just like, guys, it's not about you.
Right.
Yeah.
It is not about you. That's not the point of this. You didn't lose anybody. Like
John Campea put out a
screw that guy.
Who? The other thing that I know we all agree on it, but I'm just gonna say it because it's like been one of the common trends right now to see is is he still gonna play Vanya? And yeah, he is. It's not an issue.
Yeah,
yes.
It's called acting,
and I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really nice that we live in a time where this can be accepted, and like, because like it's.
The other part of the news I think is of note is Netflix is so respectful that they went and changed the credits of not just Umbrella Academy, but everything on there that they have.
Yeah.
To now say Elliot Page.
Yeah. That's really dope. That's really quick too.
And something you can only do on streaming services.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
I say good for him.
Cool. Shit.
Beans.
Sparks, you want to put this one on here? Big Finish.
Oh yeah.
Is ending their monthly Doctor Who audio adventures in 2022.
Yep.
Oh, it's far away.
This is a big deal because these adventures have been running as they are since 1999. Yeah. And these are the audio adventures that have had the 5th Doctor, the 6th Doctor, the 7th Doctor, the 8th Doctor on them regularly. These are
the Masters from the future one of David Tennant. I forgot his name. And then the one from the 8th Doctor's movie.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Roberts.
Audio. Yep. Eric Roberts, yeah.
Yes. They're actually Big Finish is also coming out with a big Masters thing next year.
They've had Torchwood. They've had crossovers, obviously.
So Big Finish has done all of these like other productions. This is specifically about like these monthly things. There's all these other Doctor Who projects they've done as well. Yeah. All of those will continue as will be. This is about like these monthly chartered things that they've been doing with those doctors. Is all culminating into a big.
Is that why they specifically singled out the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and not the 8th?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. It is the culmination of this particular line of monthly projects that has been a more or less continuous stream with these actors, and they're bringing it all together. They're culminating in a big crossover with them to celebrate it. They are going to continue doing something that's going to change, though. But it's just cool, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, this is a monumental moment. I was telling Ryan the other day that like Doctor Who canon is insane because like there's all these comics that apparently Al Ewing and a bunch of other people.
Al Ewing, Alex Packnerdale, and Cy Spurrier, who's coming to write an Xbox soon.
Right, and all of these things can be considered Doctor Who canon, but then there's also this wealth of audio adventures, guys. It's just like since 1999, just for these things, not to mention all these other projects that have been done, where the doctors or actors from the series have come back, and all these things just fit right into the universe. It's insane.
I really like Big Finish. I haven't listened to as many as I would like, but Big Finish is directly responsible for the fact that the 8th Doctor is my favorite. The 8th Doctor only had the movie, but was very fleshed out in the Big Finish audio adventures. Big Finish was a great way for the former Doctors, and they couldn't touch the new Who Doctors for a long time. But the former Doctors come back and keep playing those roles and keep those roles alive.
But now they touch everybody all the way up to Smith They haven't gotten Baldy for anything, but it's only a matter of time. I'm pretty sure Big Finish just announced another project they're doing with David Tennant and the actress who plays River Song coming back.
Yes. So that's so cool. So as Sparks said, in its place will be a regular rotation of releases with each the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors, each starring in their own box sets of adventures throughout the year. So just make it more accessible, it sounds like.
Yes.
Sounds good.
DuckTales is ending the season. This is its last.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Nobody knew except for the people working on it, obviously.
Aren't we getting a Darkwing Duck show?
We are. It's a spinoff of this.
So I guess a silver
The
lining.
world it's built will probably hang around for a while because it's been very popular, but it's still a bummer that this talented show is ending.
How many seasons again? I'm sorry, 4?
Three.
Three.
People-
So
people-
season 3 is going to be its last one.
The writers,
freaking love this.
the writers said like we had plans for more.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge bummer because, I mean, like I said earlier, I only finished the first season. I'm only a few episodes into season 1, but one of the things I love about this new DuckTales is how much the writers and the creators of the show care and love the older Disney afternoon shows. Like there was a Gummy Bears reference, and an episode I recently watched, they had one of the villains from TaleSpin make an appearance.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so pretty much if you grew up watching the Disney afternoon or like TaleSpin, Darkwing Duck, all these Gummy Bears, they are in DuckTales in some way, shape, or form.
It's a shared universe.
Essentially, yeah, and it's not shoehorned in like in a dumb way. There's a lot of love and care that goes into this, and that's one of the reasons why I love the show so much.
It really sucks that one of these animated reboot shows, we're talking the likes of Thundercats and Transformers Prime, like we're talking about those types of shows. Finally, one of them is very successful, and it's canceled.
Yeah,
because Thundercats was canceled the one season, and it was equally as good.
Yeah,
as rebooting the franchise.
I mean, Transformers Prime that got an ending, so that
got 3 seasons and an ending, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's good for them, but I feel like DuckTales could. I mean, yeah, the writers said they have more. Maybe it'll come back on Disney Plus. Maybe it'll become a Disney Plus original. We don't know. But David Tennant as not being Scrooge McDuck anymore is a crime because God, he is great as Scrooge McDuck.
Right.
How many episodes are a season?
22.
22.
Okay, so that's a. I mean, 3 seasons sucks, but like I thought it was maybe like 10 episodes. Like they got some full ass seasons.
No, they got some meat to it. Those are some meaty seasons.
All right. Blood of Zeus has been renewed for a 2nd season, so that's cool. And Van Helsing is getting a reboot from James Wan.
I mean, he's a good guy.
James Wan will be developing the reboot for Universal for Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman film. With Julius Avery, who is the writer of Overlord. Is the writer-director of Overlord, being to direct the film.
I think we all like that movie. Hell yeah.
We do.
Give it to me. Sure, why not?
Why not? All right, trailers.
T-Talk.
Trailers. We Can Be Heroes. We got a full-length trailer this time around.
Robert Rodriguez. What a guy.
Right.
No, truly what a guy. What I think about this movie or not, that dude can make Sin City. We talked about it like last week or whatever. He can make Sin City. He can make Spy Kids. He can make The Mandalorian. And then let's make a sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
He is definitely who's George Miller.
Yeah.
George Miller went from Mad Max to Babe to Happy Feet back to Mad Max again.
It's just it's not common, and I think a lot of it is because of more studios just seeing directors locked in this way as a type.
Yeah.
But you think about it, and like directors love various forms of film just as much as we usually do.
Yeah.
It's not surprising that they'd want to work in different like formats and genres.
Yeah, I definitely.
It's just rare you actually get to see it.
Like we all have like various like loves and stuff. Like like if I made a good horror movie, I wouldn't want to have to spend the rest of my life just making horror movies. So
right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, especially with like, I don't want to, because Robert Rodriguez, I would say he's a big director, but he's not like one of those big directors. Like Steven Spielberg, Steven Spielberg's made so many different types of films, but then I look at other film directors like Quentin Tarantino and Chris Nolan. Both of those guys, great filmmakers, but they tend to make one type of film.
People like us know who Robert Rodriguez is. Like regular people know who Steven Spielberg is. They don't know who Robert Rodriguez is.
Yeah.
My mom knows Spielberg. My mom couldn't tell you a Robert Rodriguez movie to save her life.
Yeah.
He's for the nerds. We claim him.
All right.
He's for them Alita fans.
Yes, I'll take a sequel.
That's right. I keep forgetting that he directed Alita, and it was really. I really liked Alita.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sorry, I had to eat.
No,
Give
you're
me,
good.
give me that sequel.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Earwig and the.
We really didn't talk about any of it. We talked about Robert Rodriguez.
He's so dope.
This trailer, it's not. I'm not the target audience, but it looks fine. It looks competently made.
It looks again like Spy Kids. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like a fun kids movie. It's got a bunch of celebrity actors.
I'm glad it's diverse.
Yeah, like
and I'm glad that kids get to see relatable kids being heroes.
good Christian Slater getting the role. Get that money,
I
dude.
guess so. Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Looking good. Yeah.
All right, Earwig and the Witch.
Oh man,
I kind of wish I hadn't seen this trailer.
I'm kind of bummed. What's happening to Ghibli?
I'm like, can we not? It's like upgrade. Go back.
And I told him, like, if you read an interview with the director here, he's like, Ghibli needs to like move forward, and like 3D is like the future. And I'm like, do you know what studio you work for, my guy?
Yeah, no, hard stop.
And
Stay
like,
3D.
I'm sure it'll be a good movie. Like, I'm sure the script and stuff will be fine. And like, some of the stuff looks nice, but the Ghibli art style in 3D,
The environments look like puke.
they just don't translate. They needed to do something completely different or work more on the actual look of it, because it doesn't look good.
No, I thought that this was a bootleg.
Oh my god, like a fake movie.
I thought it was like a fake trailer. I'm like, this can't be real. And then it's horrible. There are like when things get transferred into 3D. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But this is Studio Ghibli, man.
Lupin the Third.
That movie looks the most incredible.
Lupin the First. I mean, but
like, incredible thing.
That had love and care put into it by
It's a Ghibli
the
movie.
thing is, like it shows that this can be done well and artistically, but like this movie doesn't look like the artistic creativity that usually comes from this studio, and it looks more like the output of a DreamWorks television show. I don't care for it. It doesn't look good. I'm very much about maintaining 2D animation to what extent we can. I hate that most studios have forgone it at this point. On a similar note, Space Jam 2 made me so happy today. I think some people probably saw it. They released one picture of Bugs from it, and he is not some 3D CGI character plastered onto the real world. He is a 2D drawn, realized character. So praise be to that.
Praise be to that.
I am so glad they didn't go the Tom and Jerry route, because I was scared.
Me too. But you know what also makes me not happy about the Earwig, whatever it's called? So you guys know how Studio Ghibli films make their food look really good? Yeah, that soup looks like a mishmash of God knows what, and you don't want to eat it because it will kill you and you will die.
Sure, that's definitely a factor. What I think offended me more is that I found all of the environments bland.
Oh yeah, they suck.
Single one, and I'm like, I have never ever felt that way
They
about
look like really
all of their movies are eye candy. And if this
No.
movie isn't eye candy, I don't care.
Here's a good analogy. You know what the backgrounds in this Studio Ghibli movie look like? They look like low budget early PS2 backgrounds.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like, this is like, 10 years ago DreamWorks stuff. I'm like, it's such a bummer, because, like Disney went from 2D to 3D, and they very rarely go back. And 2D is such a beautiful art form that's just kind of gone. One, because it's really expensive. Like, I'm not denying that. It's really hard to make it. It's
And
expensive.
it's cheaper and easier to do 3D.
100%. But the thing that made Ghibli special is that they didn't go with the times. They stayed unique, stayed to themselves. And every one of those movies, whether you like them or not, they're gorgeous. And now this movie, it's tainted by, I have to look at it and it looks bad, so I don't want to watch it. I have to like what I'm looking at. Like,
Right.
it's a shame for
And like,
the
if you're
studio.
going to be that studio going that route, you need to level up to the Lupin the First. That's what you are one for one being compared to. And that movie blew you out of the water visually.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've ever seen Studio Ghibli get shit on so much in my life.
never.
It's
This is their first just on site dud.
a bummer.
No,
Brandon,
Studio,
how do you feel?
Studio Ghibli. I mean, yeah, Studio Ghibli has had some pretty bad films. I mean, I don't know the name, but Hayao Miyazaki's son, he made a movie, and apparently it's not that good. Yeah. But you have like the legendary Ghibli, Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service, Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle. List goes on and on.
Well, and the other point to that is that, yes, it can have its movies that aren't as good story-wise, but they're usually still very visually entertaining to watch. Gorgeous. Every single one of them. All of them look gorgeous. They like, you sit down, you have like frames from two different films. You say, oh, these were made by Studio Ghibli. This one looks like someone who's trying to be Studio Ghibli, but it sucks.
It feels like a YouTube video.
Brandon, are you trying to say something?
No. I have no thoughts on this. I don't really care. I've seen maybe 3 Ghibli movies.
But did you think the animation looked bad?
It looked all right. I agree with everything you said, which is why I haven't said anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of repeating what you guys have already succinctly put.
Kick the movie with us. Kick it. Take that, Ghibli.
Brandon?
It doesn't look good. I don't care.
Grab the flame with her.
It's certainly no Grave of the Fireflies.
That's freaking true.
Wait, what?
Grave of the Fireflies?
Is that the bad one?
No, that's the great one.
That's the sad one.
That's the sad one.
Oh, that's the sad one. Okay.
That's the really sad one.
I remember I watched it with my last girlfriend, and she was like, "Let's watch this Ghibli movies." I'm like, "Oh, cool! I heard such good things." Why?
Another Kleenex box. Oh no!
I was like, "It's the only one that's just like ridiculously sad." Anyway,
okay.
Ryan, you want to talk about this one? Sweet Home.
Sweet Home Alabama. This looks cool.
Hold on, real quick. Is it a movie or a TV show?
That's a good question.
It's a TV show.
I'm asking you. It's a TV show.
Oh, is it a TV show? I thought it was a movie.
It is. It's a TV show, and it looks so good.
So,
Sweet Home is a TV show?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I literally saw this trailer like an hour before we started recording this on Twitter. And I watched it, and I'm like, this looks sick in the coolest ways. It's a zombie-esque show, but they're like super crazy.
It's monster.
It's like monsters, like infections, like I don't
body
know.
Horror monsters, which Japan they kill at.
Yeah,
they're so good at it. Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot of the same kind of concepts.
Yeah, right. It's like in Resident Evil 4 where you kill some of the zombies, but then you got the death spaghetti pops out of their head.
Yeah. Oh, death spaghetti. I like that. Yeah. It just looks like a Attack on Titan situation where your main character becomes like a monster, like the enemy, and then they use him to defeat the enemies. I just think it has a really great style to it. I think the action looks sick.
But there's a conversation going on between characters about can any monster actually be pure or can it be good? And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This looks great. This is based off a webtoon.
Bam! This is Netflix's second webtoon after Kingdom, which is that Korean zombie show. The medieval Korean zombie show.
I think this one's also Sweet Home is also Korean made. The last Korean one I watched, which was #Alive, I really liked that one.
I'm probably gonna watch that soon because I've heard good things about it.
I'm so happy.
There was a scene of like a big monster just yelling protein, and I'm like, what? I'm into
funny enough, this past year I've watched 2 Korean-made films. One of them was, of course, Parasite, which was one of the biggest films ever and won an Oscar deservedly, and it was amazing. And then the other one was #Alive, which I only watched because my roommate was watching it, and I was like, this looks good. Next thing I know, the credits are rolling. I'm like, damn, that was really good.
What did you say, Parasite?
Yeah, I saw Parasite earlier this year.
The second? No, I'm sorry, you said the second movie. I missed. I'm sorry.
The second movie was #Alive.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm like, God damn, I gotta look over at Korea more. They got some good shit going on.
I'll watch Train to Busan, my friend.
My favorite.
I'm missing the big one, Train to Busan. I'm missing that one.
Ryan, what were you saying? Ben was talking over you.
Your
favorite what?
My favorite movie is Old Boy, which is just the saddest South Korean drama.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Anything else you want to talk about?
You're handsome.
Well, screw you too.
Damn, there you go. I don't know. I always go back to the really.
Don't fight in front of the kids.
All right, gentlemen, let's take up our swords and fight for our savior, Krakoa.
Woo! I was trying to think how we can structure this, and then I forgot. So, guys. Oh, that your sword? Your water bottle?
Sword.
Hey, listen, let's go.
Listen,
as we learned, a sword doesn't actually mean a sword. Sometimes it could be a giant mother effing galactic battle station in space. I'm just saying.
Called sword.
Called sword.
Called sword.
The sentient world observation and recording these.
We are now talking about the finale to the Dawn of X, the major 22-part crossover for the X-Men line, 10 of Swords.
Y'all getting doxxed.
Oh, you're about to get doxxed, guys. So if you actually, I have it here. If you're watching this now, obviously we're going to spoil the entire event. Hopefully we can do it in a way where if you haven't read it, you can get some enjoyment out of it. Because that being said, you should read this comic, you guys. I think it's pretty dope. It is 22 issues, a lot of money. Just Marvel Unlimited. There you go.
A lot of X-Men stuff to read too. It also helps if you read everything beforehand.
Well, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Although it does give you a very what's the first book? Exorcist Creations. It gives you exactly what you need. Mutant kind has a new home, Krakoa, an island where the past is left behind and the future is free of fear, but nothing is new. No past completely erased. No future without a dark cloud on its horizon. And that is Apocalypse and his sad family, you guys.
I just to address that note, I do think that like Hellions and New Mutants are particularly hard if you haven't been reading them.
Yes,
I think they're hard to connect to because they are deeply about their characters, and you need to kind of be aware of the characters.
That's very true.
There is no easy recap entry on them. You kind of got to know them.
Yeah.
I would say Hellions is, especially towards the end, the Hellions issue was the one that I felt like didn't need to be there.
See, here's the thing. It's not necessary to the core of the story, but if that's not one of my favorite issues of this book, where Sinister kills all of his team and then runs, my babies are dead! The funniest thing I've seen in my life.
The most Frieza move.
It is so Frieza. That's 100% right.
Yeah.
Sinister is the best. He is sassy and he doesn't give a shit about his friends. He deliberately took them. Let's just talk about Hellions because it is the most separate of the event.
Also, my favorite 2 issues.
Yeah, like for real, like the funniest shit. Like Sinister's plan is he wants to take the Hellions and to get these swords from Arakko to stop the contest from even happening.
Yeah.
Spoilers, he doesn't give a shit about the event. He doesn't care about swords. He doesn't even know where he's going half the time. He ends up somewhere else. I think it's great.
Well, what I love about the second issue of Hellions in the event is that we meet them after the event is well into it.
Oh yeah.
And we meet them again. It's like, I told you we were supposed to take a left there, and everyone looks battered, and Havoc's missing an eye.
Yeah.
It's like we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Hellions also has the best like dialogue about the concept of the Krakoan resurrection.
Yeah.
Which is by Grey Crow, which is from where the empath I shot it. I'll save you the song, kid. Empath died, but then another one woke up. They say it's the same one, and no one can tell the difference, so what does it matter? And then he's asked, but empath is still dead. And he says, from where the empath I shot is standing? Yeah. From where the empath that's alive is standing? No. Comes down to whose opinion is more important, a living person who can breathe and talk or a corpse that can't say shit about shit.
Which again just makes like, oh, this is all real gross what they're doing. But like, just don't worry about it. Just don't think about it too hard. It's real gross.
I just love that that's in Hellions.
Yeah.
Of all of these titles for this event, Hellions is the one that's like, I don't know, the resurrection seems kind of messed up, but I guess we're all just going along with it.
Yeah. So the Hellions, they plan to go to Arakko to steal all the swords. They end up in Otherworld halfway through the event, and then they meet evil X-Men who basically just tear their shit up, which is just, it's like, they're called the Vile Locusts, I think, and it's like they're evil.
The Vile.
To me, my Vile Locust or whatever. I'm like, here's a bunch of new characters we're probably going to see later on.
But what was cool is that Sinister knows what he's doing. But what I really liked is that he knew, okay, none of these guys can die in Otherworld.
Yeah. So you got to get him. You got to get him back, and you got to. And again, his whole thing is like he messes up the whole plan, right? He meets this bad guy, and then Sinister's like, "Oh, mutants!" And he brings out his little drones, and his whole plan the entire time.
Well, the whole thing is that like they challenge him and say flat out, like, "Was this your plan?
Yeah,
that was your." We weren't even here for the thing you said.
Yeah. He's there to steal the DNA and like of the evil mutants, of the Iraqi mutants and this Vile Locust or whatever they're called. Because Sinister is trying to do Chimera shit, all that stuff from House of X and Powers of 10. He's still slowly building up to it like a jerk, despite having more power than he's ever had in his entire life, having more friends than he's ever had his entire life. He's still the worst. And he still just wants everything. He's
still just so darn sinister.
I love it.
I was so stoked when Mr. Sinister pops up in Avalon, and then he's like, King Jamie, and I'm like, oh my god, these two.
It's gonna be a king.
Oh no, these two.
Oh no, King Jamie.
Braddock, the insane reality warping king of Avalon. God. Yeah. Oh my god, you guys got introduced to so much Excalibur stuff that like Alan Moore introduced in the 70s and 80s, like all the stuff with Saturnine and the Captain Britain Corps and like Otherworld with Roma and Merlin and Mad Jim Jaspers. This is all excellent 80s shit that really hasn't been around for a long time. And Teeny Howard is just such the biggest Excalibur fan. And then Hickman is doing X-Men, so he's there too. It all builds together.
I just love it.
So one of the things I love about this whole event, I know we're jumping back and forth, is that as we're reading through the issues, we learn more of the realms, the fair and the foul provinces. And then when I read about Merlin, that he's leader of the Holy Republic of the Fae, and it's a foul province, and Merlin's an asshole, it's like, you suck, Merlin. Like, the first time we see Merlin in his home, he has Fae, like, chained up and torturing him. It's like, oh, what is it? No.
Yeah, the history of the court and Otherworld and Saturnine getting power and becoming the
Omniversal Magistrix.
Yes, basically the keeper of reality. Because Saturnine herself is like the most conniving, most like I want power more than anyone on the planet because I deserve it because I'm hot. So she will do anything in the world to get ultimate power, and now she's here, and she basically rigs an entire event to get her way. And
then doesn't really get everything she wanted in the end.
Not only does she not get everything she wants, she actively made her enemy the Captain Britain Corps. Yeah. Because she's in love with Brian, and she wants Brian to be her sole lover and the soul of the Captain Britain Corps. But she messed up, and she accidentally made Betsy the core of the Captain Britain Corps. So all of the multiverse's Captain Britons are all Betsy. Mm-hmm. And that infuriates her so hard. Oh my god, it's so juicy. I'm
so glad. Yeah. By the end of the fact that that's what happened, and she's just like got the painting, and she's all no.
So at first I was like really bummed because I really like Betsy Braddock. I know I only was introduced to her because of Excalibur and the opening of the X run.
That's good, yeah.
But I love Excalibur. I love Betsy Braddock. That's one of my favorite books of the X-Men line. What?
That's a good point. What Ben's talking about is that I also think Ten of Swords is really, really hard if you haven't been reading Excalibur.
Yeah.
I think you can read all the recaps, but I'm like, you don't really know these characters, and it's hard to grab it. That is such a core element of what's happening, because it's where Apocalypse's stuff was happening. It's where Lady Saturnine stuff is happening. Yeah. That is central to this.
Yeah.
For sure.
But,
Sorry.
And then when we finally get the fight between when Betsy finally gets her sword, and then she's the first one against Iska the Unbeaten, I'm like, oh no, please don't kill her. And then she shatters. I'm like,
and Saturnine, it was clearly not the person with the sword that did it. And Saturnine's like, oh, she strike the blow, dead. Yeah. Look at that. I don't know.
Oops. I got to tell you, rereading, because I was reading it as it was coming out, obviously, but rereading it, with all the hindsight I now have, Saturnine has rigged this entire thing from the beginning, and even says at the end, like, she couldn't tell, because it's a multiverse, she couldn't tell every possibility, but basically everything that happened, like she allowed it to happen. She knew
fundamental core elements.
She knew who was going to win. Her whole plan was to get the Captain Britain Corps back, so she would have her multiverse of saviors, and she underestimated Betsy, and she underestimated the X-Men. Which is just
Apocalypse,
especially Apocalypse,
because she brings that up at the end. She's like, "Well done, I didn't that wasn't there."
Yeah.
Tricky move.
So I do understand, because I remember when Ryan, when you read these as these came out, I waited.
Yeah.
There was a part where the event turned into something you weren't expecting.
Yes.
When the first part, when every X-Men went to go get their sword, I loved the hunt for the swords. I loved Wolverine getting the Muramasa, Storm getting Skybreaker.
Going to hell? Are you kidding me?
Oh God! Even when
great,
even Magic teaching Doug how to use his weapon. And
bro, there's a line where she's like, "Do you think I can actually win a fight?" And Magic says to Doug, "If you fight in this tournament, it'll be the last thing you ever do."
Yeah,
telling him the truth, and luckily he really doesn't have to fight.
He doesn't have to fight. And then when we got the swords and the tournament, like the prologue of the tournament starts, and when the tournament starts, at first I was like, wait, this is what was going on? What about all the sword? And then as I kept reading, I'm like, what now? Like the wheels started turning. I was like, okay, I know I'm not Ryan. I know I don't understand everything, but now I understand what Saturnine is trying to do. She is trying to get her way. She is that one. She is the queen. She is the ruler of a kingdom. Straight up saying like, yeah, you play in this tournament, but I'm the puppet master. Even when Wolverine,
it was the wedding.
Yeah,
that first cues you have to be like,
what?
All right, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. The wedding is like, what?
And then she's just like, you know what? True love wins today. People get a point.
To be fair, go ahead, Ben.
But also, I knew when Saturnine was just essentially flipping off the X-Men the entire time just so she can get Captain Britain or Brian to go to her.
She wants him so bad, and he's just like,
thirsty. Is when Wolverine kills Summoner. Then she said, oh, this was to the death. The Summoner was the one who died, so he gets the point. It's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Or also when another Storm is a standout. I know she's always been a standout.
She's so good.
Dancing with Death.
Well, I want to be quickly. Can we talk about when she's doing the drinking competition with Logan?
That's great. I want to slow down and back up to your point because Ben was kind of just on a roll. Sorry. No, it's fine. It's fine. I just want to touch on a point.
There's so much good stuff. I get it.
I think the thing, like, I got clued in when I think it's Ileana says, so the swords aren't really for fighting, and this is before the wedding. And Saturnine says swords are keys for entry.
Yes,
which means I'm like, this ain't gonna be what a fighting tournament. Yes. That's not what this is.
Rereading it because somebody pointed that on Twitter. It was like everyone should have known this wasn't going to be just a swords tournament. The second she said that the swords were keys, and I'm like, okay, because like when I was initially reading it, I spent 11 issues getting the swords, so I wanted sword fights. But in hindsight, I'm like, those were just dope stories to get to just the batshit insanity of whatever Saturnine wants to do, like dance battles
and character stories too.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we did get some sword fights.
Yeah.
Although I will be lying if I said I wasn't hoping for sword fights because you guys know me, I love sword fights, and we did get some sword fights, but it wasn't all sword fights. And even when I was finished reading the whole thing, I'm still not that mad. I'm a little bummed that we didn't get like a huge like DBZ style tournament of sword fights. But at the same time, it's like it's the Starlight Citadel. It's batshit crazy. They ate unicorns for dinner.
Yeah.
So
there was a moment where I was thinking to myself, I don't think this is gonna end well. And it was towards the middle of the second part. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know how I feel about this, but the ending nails it so good.
Oh yeah.
That I look back on the whole event with way more fondness.
Yeah.
So as I was going through it, there are two things that really stood out to me, and one of them is I realized as I was reading it, I didn't want a sword fighting tournament. And the reason is because what they have built is like there's no way this event is interesting if all the X-Men win. Right?
Yeah. Right.
And there's no way that they're going to murder all of these X-Men.
Yeah.
Nope.
It would not be interesting. It would not be good. And I'm going into the event like, I don't want Doug to die. Doug's too interesting.
Dude,
I don't want Doug to die.
We all thought,
if it's a sword fight, Doug dies.
We all thought Doug was going to die in this.
Right. So I'm like, it can't. That's not what I wanted. Yeah. I realized that's not what I wanted because it means that many of these X-Men characters die in a way that otherwise they have to like find some bullshit to break the rules they have now established about resurrection, which I don't want them to do because it provides stakes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they handle it instead is the most, to the second point, something you mentioned, and I'm like 100%, which I assume you saw on Twitter, which is that this is the most Shonen Jump freaking arc ever. And it completely is. The bullshit of how Gorgon earns them all the way up to being tied. I'm like, that's the most Shonen Jump chapter thing I've ever seen, where like they are so down below, and then in one fell swoop, it's like, oh, now we're tied. I'm like, wow.
The thing that I love about Jonathan Hickman is he is maybe the best mainstream person for moments. And the moments that he does, the stuff he does with Gorgon, that puts that character on such a level that he has never been before. And Jonathan Hickman loves Gorgon because he put him in his Avengers run too for some reason, because he loves like Sam and Bobby, and he loves Gorgon for some reason. That's why they're always around. But Gorgon's sacrifice is so badass, and it is the coolest that character's ever been. And like the way he goes out with the white sword, the white sword is like, I'm gonna make you mine. And he's like, nah, dog. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he just kills him. He's like, you were worth it. You were worth my people dying for it. I'm like, dude, this is so radical. And then it's 1919, and it's Apocalypse and Genesis. I'm like, yo, this is an event. This is an event.
Yo, so I don't know. I was reading the part last night when when Annihilation was revealed to be Genesis, and of course I didn't catch on until like 2 pages before, because I'm like reading. I was like, yeah, what happened to Genesis? And then I'm like, and then of course I'm like, oh no, it's freaking, yep, there she is.
There was a free comic book day event that straight up tells you that it's her. It's like the Two of Cups, like a tarot card, and it's half her face and half Annihilation's face. So like, right, we've always known.
I mean, like it shows that, and like you could have. I understood how you could read that. It's in here too.
Oh, okay.
That free comic book day was just an excerpt out of. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the issue right before Ten of Swords starts.
Oh, so X-Men, like
whatever it is,
like
it's that issue, because I reread that issue for this event, and in that event is when you see the cards that she lays out, and in one of the cards is that one he's describing. But I understand how you can read that and see that as Genesis, who was killed, and what Apocalypse was fighting for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There is that reading in it, and so I didn't at that moment go, she is Annihilation, but I did say there's a connection parallel there. But I thought it was about the importance of what happened with Apocalypse. I figured out that she was Annihilation when we see the moment with the helm in front of them, the Annihilation helm that people put on and are taken over by it. And I'm like, oh, she's in it.
Man,
she's
guys,
in it.
Talk about, again, Hickman did this with Dr. Doom in his Avengers run. He turned him from, just being the Latvian supremacist or whatever into a fully fledged like character who is a superhero at points. Apocalypse is a big baby. That is, for 25 years, Apocalypse has been the meanest person on the planet, and now he's the weakest of his family.
When Genesis says that, it explains to him that like you're the reason you're not coming because you're the weakest of us. And I'm like,
dude, Apocalypse cries multiple times in this event.
It's in Indestruction when he finally makes it to them and sees them and is like, I've done this all for you. We finally get, and they stab him, and you're like, oh.
So he when he first meets them, he kneels and he's like, I'm so sorry, I've missed you for so long. And they're like, Father, stand up. We want to see you as we remembered you, a god, a titan, not this weakling. And then he gets stabbed by his children. I'm like,
for me, like it's all about the moment where I think it's Captain Britain who's challenging him, like, whoa, we need to move out of here. Aren't you thinking about what this means for us? And he's like, I have thought about this day for millennia. Mm-hmm. I have thought about everything about how this ends. And I'm like, there's
a great line when Apocalypse gets his sword and Gorgon's like, that looks really sharp. And he's like, yes, watch as I wield it. And I'm like, God, Hickman, he just knows how to write really cool dudes.
And also not only that, because the temple that Apocalypse put his sword is crumbling and being destroyed behind him. So it's like,
he's just like, I got what I needed.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because Hickman, because I only knew Apocalypse as one of the X-Men's big bads.
Like Survival of the Fist.
Yeah, like you got Magneto, you got it's like he's up there like Magneto before he was an X-Men. It's like Magneto, the Sentinels, and Apocalypse. Apocalypse is when shit really hits the fan. But just like reading these books and seeing Apocalypse not only just on the team, but also fighting and crying and wanting to be with his family, it's like, I don't know how to feel. I was like, I grew up hating Apocalypse. Like, no, screw you, Apocalypse. And now it's like, kick his ass, Apocalypse.
What I think is really cool, and someone pointed it out on Ryan's Twitter, and Ryan responded to it, but the council is mostly made up of former villains.
Yeah, the villains, that is so special to the X-Men, because these are villains that like, they're not just like robbing banks, they're fighting for their freedom and they're fighting for like their people. They're doing it in bad ways. They've got what they wanted. Mutants are on top. They are part of the government, but they're still assholes.
They have like a whole text page when Jean and Scott forfeit their seats.
Oh my God.
About how like each member was carefully chosen for how they balance out from different perspectives for what they are.
People are also thinking that the reign of X means it's the reign of the 10 people left on the council, and they're going to start changing shit for Krakoa because it's mostly villains now.
Right, because they don't have some different voices.
They don't have a conscience on their squad anymore.
They only have Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and he's gonna get
and Kate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because she couldn't go because they went through a gate.
Because they lied to her. Yeah.
It's like, Kate, she's like, I'm coming. That ain't gonna work on me. Kate, we're going through a gate.
and then Emma's like, she shouldn't lie to her.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's great. So yeah, this event you got So
Gwenpool goes with them to Krakoa to bail them out.
Every X-Man. If you look on that page, guys, there's like 40 characters on the page. It's insane. Pepe
That's
Ross,
beautiful.
When I got to that page and Jean Grey saying "To me, my X-Men," the theme song was going through my head.
Oh yeah. I said it when I first read this book, but X of Swords Destruction, which is the final issue, is probably the best looking comic this year. It is the scale of there's multiple panels of like 40, 50 characters on screen. The panel or the page of Magic creating the portal and dropping the sword station onto the Otherworld Citadel is maybe the coolest thing I've seen in my entire life in comics, guys. Like, it is just like, I'm imagining this in my brain as a movie. And then they open the portal and all of those demon monsters from
it's like the end of Endgame, except it's one portal with a giant station and everyone comes from it.
And then you have the Lord of the Rings Return of the King ghost moment where you have like the evil army from the other the other universe, which comes in as reinforcements. I'm like, it's set up and payoff from like issue 1 to issue 22, baby. It all works.
Not only that, I think I just want to get this out there. Like, I think referring to what Ben was saying with Apocalypse, I think that's one of the reasons why I go back to Excalibur is really important to read. Mm-hmm. Hoxpox is really important to read. Everything up to that point, because Apocalypse's arc from Hoxpox all the way to this point is such a solid, cool arc to watch. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, and going all the way back now and thinking about like putting Jamie in Avalon and all these things, and when he finally gets there and she's like, you've done all these things, you put Jamie in power here, you did all these things just to get here, and now you're invited. Is that frustrating?
Oh my god.
And it's like, it's so good.
Yeah, Saturnine is I think you said, like, Ben, like she's that bitch. Like she is so mean, and
she's
so,
like Emma Frost escalated from the old days.
Yeah, she's Emma Frost if she was given
it's Emma Frost if Emma Frost didn't change her opinions when Scott banged her.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, Scott made her a better person. It's 100%.
It's funny because when I was reading up Saturnine, I was reminded of this one scene in a later season of Game of Thrones when Baelish is talking to Cersei. Mm-hmm. Baelish is talking to Cersei, and Baelish goes, "Well, knowledge is power," and then she instantly goes, "Guards, kill him!" And then her like retainers draw swords. They are about to slit swords. And she's like, "No, I changed my mind." And then she does like that whole power show, is like step forward, close your eyes, turn around, all this stuff, and these guards have to do it. And then she goes up to me and she's like, "You think you know my game, bitch? No, you don't. Power is power. I can have it."
She's not as, I don't think, evil as Cersei, but she is absolutely she is the most power hungry person in the Marvel universe. That's why she got to where she is. There's also a great line by Monet where she's like, can I come along on the team? And she's like, why? He's like, I think that's a job I might like one day. So that's Hickman setting up that right there.
I want to amend what you said. I think she is just as evil as Cersei before Cersei gets messed up by the church.
Okay.
She is that level.
Okay, but she's not murdering people though. Like, she has to keep a balance.
She
Betsy
eventually murdered Betsy.
Oh, that's true. No, it's
last window.
She works in the murder of people she doesn't like.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
She's definitely like that time period of a character. Yeah,
and even Wolverine calls out Brian. Is like, dude, you can end this if you just go and just take one for the team. With Saturnine,
take one for the team. I love it.
Hey, Logan's been living that polyamorous life, so he doesn't respect marriage. He's like, you could just do this. Why are you making it so hard?
That was a good what if for the first 2 pages. I want to say of Marauders when Wolverine the last page is Wolverine killing Saturnine. And the next page is like the world and destruction, and then it goes back to Saturnine like stabbing Wolverine with claws.
So that is a very small moment in this book that, like, Saturnine, she's the most powerful person in the universe. Like, she makes it not happen. This is the most important thing that happened in this book. And let me tell you why. This is slowly going around Twitter. Not a lot of people are talking about it. There's a data page that talks about what Logan experienced and what Logan saw.
Yep.
Logan does not know that Moira is alive right now. Logan saw Moira die in her no place. So he has that knowledge now that Moira is dead somehow. when she should already be dead. So, because he says the Wolverine saw it with his own eyes. Everything that's listed, all the people who died, he saw Moira die in her no place. Wolverine did not know she was there before. Now Wolverine knows that Moira is somehow around. And that is going to be the thing that I think is going to launch us into some real crazy shit. Because Logan's like, I saw Moira. Where's she at, Professor X? And he's going to be like, no, don't worry about it. And then there's going to be some friction. That is a secret little dump, a secret little, like, this is the future right here. Because they didn't have to say that. Because that's a very deliberate type of writing. Wolverine saw her die.
We haven't seen Moira since Hoxpox, really.
Not true. We saw her one time.
Oh, one panel.
2 issues before this event, when Rockslide passes, the Cerebro helmets all go off in different places, and one of them is Moira's,
in her no
where
place.
she is.
Yeah,
that's in Destruction. That's in Creation. That's in Creation.
Yeah. No,
it's
is it?
It's in one. It's in the
because Rockslide dies in Creation.
Yeah, that's
okay.
True. But yeah, like the fact that that's now there, that's like, I don't know if that'll ever be addressed soon, but like Wolverine now has information he did not have before because nobody knows Moira's alive except Magneto and Xavier. So that is a wrinkle that I know Jonathan Hickman put there for a reason. No, he doesn't do anything for accidents. That's exciting.
Plus, in the same event, we saw her for the first time. In her place,
and it's nice you saw Xavier take his helmet off, like when the thing went off. So like, it's still Xavier. People stop. It's not Reed Richards. It's not some other character. It's Xavier. Please stop with the fakeness.
Right. Yeah.
Well, didn't one prominent rumor was that he was Moira. He was Moira.
Yeah. So as guys, it's the simple solution is usually the right one.
Yeah. He's just got a kick-ass helmet right now.
Yes, I have. So I'm going to find the issue that has all of the battles and all of the wins and losses. Because one of them has just all of them. So you guys can talk for just a second.
I think it's part 21.
21. That's where I'm at.
I think it's part 20.
Part 20 or 21. It's very
820.
820.
I think it's, you're right, Brandon. It's probably 20.
Hey guys, what do we all think of Captain Avalon?
He's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool turn when he takes it up, and he's for Jamie. Also, I love Jamie taking Sinister's cape and then immediately appearing in the next issue.
Yeah,
the cape.
I love it. Absolutely.
Good lord.
I want to talk about Cable because Cable's got a cool issue.
Oh my god, Phil Noto, guys, holy shit!
When Cable like catches on to what's happening, is like we're.
I just think it's really great that Future Trunks is in this comic.
He telepathically calls out to his parents, and his parents are like, "All right, we're going. We're going to bail our son out. This is just what's happening now."
Yeah,
and
that.
Then,
go ahead, Ben.
And then and then like 2 pages later, Gorgon evens the score.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
Nope,
and
God,
it's also
Bay.
really good that they were going.
Oh, I love Bay. Oh man.
Yeah, Bay's great.
Oh my god, Josh Cassar's art, real quick, Ben. Josh Cassar's art in X-Force, specifically I talked about it when it came out. The Blight Spoke stuff, like the multiple realities, like that fight with Wolverine is so amazing.
Yeah.
Truly cool.
Blight Spoke.
Yeah, sorry, Blight Spoke. Whatever I said.
Or what? It is Blight Spoke, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the place where all realities go to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I took pictures of things I wanted to remember, but I don't have a picture of that one. But I really, just while we're on that note, I really love when Scott is standing in front of the council and he's like, "Yeah, I understand the nation thing. I know what you guys all said." And then when I heard it, I just realized that was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
And F that.
I'm a hero. I'm gonna save my son. That's what we do.
Well, what was so interesting is that he talks about the X-Men specifically. He's like, we're the X-Men. And then there's a data page. The next data page is the X-Men was not going to be a term Krakoa was going to use anymore.
Yeah. We are a nation. We are a government. We are no longer the X-Men.
At this moment, the X-Men no longer exists. And I'm like, but that's the name of your book, though. Why?
Yeah.
But
can't call it Krakoa.
It was really, well, I think now you could.
Yeah.
So I really like he's up there and it's like, no, we get all that. We're going anyway. You're not stopping us. And even
then,
like Xavier was like, all right.
Magneto says that a boy. Yeah. Like,
He goes,
they're
good
both
boy.
happy.
Yeah, like Magneto goes, good boy. And then you see Xavier smiling. It's like,
Maybe I do have that.
Well, because it's like, even the council is like, no, we know we need to intervene at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will save those who need saving, whatever the cost, because we are its heroes. And that's Charles smiling and Magneto. Yeah, good boy.
There's that. It's beautiful Mahmoud Assar art. Scott so many panels have Scott the reflection of characters in his visors.
Yeah, and it's a reflection of Magneto and Charles in his visors. Yeah.
That is always such a beautiful touch. They're like, you don't have to do, but it's great. I love it. All right, guys, I got the battle log. Let's talk about some of these battles, okay?
Yep.
So we got the first battle. It's got Isca versus Captain Britain. Isca's the unbeaten. She can't be beaten. So spoiler alert, we know that one. But it was Saturnine who did it, actually. So Betsy, don't feel so bad about it. Trial by wedding. Bay hit the Blood Moon versus Cypher. Who wins? They both win because of love. I love this shit. Like arranged marriages are gross, like whatever. But like, I think for the context of what this is, I think it's funny.
And they're in love.
They're in love, yeah. And like, it's so interesting because like Doug is someone who understands all languages, but he doesn't understand this person, and that fascinates him.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't understand the language of love yet.
Ah, Doug, he's the sweet boy. Oh, I'm so glad he didn't die. I was gonna be so pissed if he died.
Also, Bay is beautiful.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, wow, yeah.
And then the fact that Bay, and then when she because we the reader can understand what she's saying, but when Bay says her vows, it's like, wow, she actually does want to be with him. That's
so. I really love this moment where Bay makes her vows, and then Apocalypse is staying there because Doug is like, I can't understand her, and he's like, they are good vows.
Yeah,
you should take this. Like, this is really good. And I'm like, this is coming from Apocalypse, who I know at this moment he knows a thing or two about love.
Yeah, he's
eternal love. He's essentially Hawkman.
I love Hawkman.
So
holy shit, you're so right.
I know. That's why it's so good.
What was the third battle, Ryan?
The third battle is the contest of arms, Pog versus Magic. It was an arm wrestling match.
Yes.
That was ridiculous.
I'm glad there was a rematch because this is the first part where I was like, oh, I didn't expect this, but now in hindsight again, I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. Who cares?
It's so shonen.
Yeah, it's like whatever. It's so good.
Saturnine specifically made it so that they would all lose their matches.
Yeah. Again, it's like,
and then tie it up.
She had it all planned out.
They still win a couple.
Yeah. Battle for Race to Death, Summoner versus Wolverine. Whoever dies,
which is bananas.
I didn't expect
you got all this like,
oh my god,
craziness happening on every page.
What an insane. Those pages are running like $600.
This one part where it looks like Tron.
Yeah. $600 to buy. Oh my god, it's amazing. Contest 5, the Contest of Cups, Storm versus Wolverine. Guys,
That's just a gimme point.
That's just a gimme point.
But it's a cost. That I loved. It's a cost on both of them because they were both plotting the murder of her.
Yep. Also,
they almost kiss in that one.
Yes, people don't like that, but guess what? They've had history before, so
I love when she's like, "You stop being dirty, or I'm gonna tell Jean." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Dude, Wolverine should have said, "He's like, nah, she'd love you to join us." That's what he should have said.
That's so sexy.
Yeah, well, that would be too on the nose, and they've so far danced around the polygamy.
I want to pause on the battle thing real quick to talk about the wonderful issue of Storm going to Wakanda.
Oh my god, that's Vita.
Yes.
That's a Vita Ayala joint right there.
I think that was okay. Besides Wolverine getting the Muramasa, that I think Storm going to Wakanda was my favorite of the questing.
Oh yeah,
Wolverine because they used to be married. Black Panther.
I loved the pain that T'Challa felt when he got there, and she's like, I don't know if I do have it, but when she's expressing like, I couldn't wait kind of thing, and he's like, I would have done anything for you. Of course you could have taken it. I would have supported you, and she's like, yeah. But you support me at your convenience. Everything's on your timetable. And sometimes it just can't wait for that kind of thing. And it's like, they're both kind of right. And it's like, my God, it's so well done. And her interactions with Shuri and the Queen Mother are fantastic. Mm-hmm. The way that she remembers things. And it's like, it's almost like he wanted me to take it. Oh, I didn't know about these things. Yeah. It's so good. And it's so sad to watch her electrocute Shuri. But what a beautiful, beautiful issue.
And as Brandon said, like, Storm and T'Challa have such a long history of them being married, and like she was Queen of Wakanda with him for a couple of years and stuff, and like having to go back to steal their most prized artifact, and like, I promise I'll bring it back, but the world's gonna end. And Shuri's like, maybe just don't take it. I'm like, the world's gonna end, Shuri.
Yeah, I really wanted to highlight that issue because the Muramasa Blade questing issues were my number one of the questing for swords issues. Yeah. But Storm was right there under it at number 2. The issue of her going to Wakanda was brilliant. Also getting that little like wonderful taste of Wakanda history about the history of the blade, the history of other blades that were there that they were totally willing to offer up. And they're like, but this is the blade of the nation.
You know who you get Black Panther to? now that the book's ending. Vita Ayala.
That would be awesome.
I'm just saying she did it good here.
It could happen.
So I have
I really love how they're in the rock circle.
Uh,
they get the swords.
Sorry, real quick. No, this is just real quick. This is bouncing back to the news because you just brought up Vita, and I forgot. Children of the Atom was postponed again.
Oh yeah, postponed.
And we forgot
2 months.
to talk about that. 2 months, which I'm super upset about.
Yeah. There's a lot of speculation, but I don't think anybody really knows why. That sucks. But she's writing New Mutants, so it's not like she's not writing X-Men. So it's like I think I don't know if it's a scheduling thing or it was part of the event and then they had to get changed. But like
I know, I'm just bummed about it.
That book was supposed to come out.
A lot of people are bummed about it. A
ago.
lot of people on Comic Twitter I see are bummed about it. Yeah.
Right. So going back to Storm. The reason why one of the things I love about Wolverine's and Storm's quest for the swords is because of their end. There is it's not really a cliffhanger, but I want to know what happens after. We find out later on that Wolverine promised Solemn. He promised Solemn a fight. He promised him a fight with Hidla Muramasa. That was the price he had to pay.
At any time he gets called, he has to fight.
Bring me my boy.
Pretty much. But after Storm walks that through the gate, T'Challa tells him to destroy the gate, and if she brings it back, it'll be on our own terms.
Yeah.
So I'm really, for some reason, I'm really looking forward to the issue. If hopefully it's going to be Marauders, maybe it'll be Black Panther, who knows? But I want to see an issue where Storm returns the sword back. And
she already did.
No, she did.
She
return
did.
it.
We
all
did. Sorry, Beth. I just wanted to correct what you were saying, which is that what T'Challa says is not specifically about the sword. He said, if any mutants ever want to return, it will not be as thieves in a night, any ambassadors.
Yeah.
They will be on our terms through our permissions. But we do know that she did return the sword and that there are wounds there that are not healed.
Yeah.
That's part of the narration at the end.
And Wakanda is already they're not anti-mutant, but they don't want their drugs and they don't need it.
They don't need it.
They're self-sufficient. So like
Side note, because Ryan and I were talking about this off podcast, we're in a weird place right now where we can't really gauge what's going to happen with how Wakanda is going to work with, like, where we might see more of Wakanda fleshing out its reaction to Krakoa right now, because Ta-Nehisi Coates' run of Black Panther has been suspended for about half a year and postponed. And now his final issues aren't coming out until next year. And all of those were written kind of more or less in advance of the pandemic. So his run is ending, but it's basically still backlogged before all this. So we don't know what Wakanda is going to be like in the near future. So it'll be nice to see. I agree with you. I want to see more of this relationship fleshed out. I hope that there's some kind of catch up, because I think Wakanda is one of the most interesting places to see reacting to Krakoa. And we haven't gotten it yet because Coates' line has just been behind.
If I'm being honest, I think with how that run's going, I don't think it's going to be in here. I think it's going to be like whatever the relaunch of Black Panther will be.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean is that we just have to wait because Coates' run has been behind all this stuff. And now it's got to end before we can get to someone who's going to dig into it.
True.
But I echo what Ben said.
That's actually not necessarily true. If you recall, the last issues of Matt Fraction's Hawkeye took years to come out almost. And in between the 24th and 25th, the Jeff Lemire Hawkeye run started.
Yeah.
Sure,
so
but it's not.
But we know when Coates' run is coming back. The issues are coming out starting late January, I believe, or February, one of the two. And they haven't announced who's taking over yet after him. So that's why we're kind of in limbo about Wakanda.
Limbo. Imagine.
What next?
Anyway,
what was the next one?
Solemn summons Wolverine to do his fighting for him. He says, "Bring me my boy," and he's all messed up.
He's like still drunk out of his mind.
Drunk,
man.
Yeah. And then who's he fighting again?
War.
And War was like War finds out from Solemn that he just killed her son.
Yeah.
And she's just beating him up and burying the sword in him, and he's like, "God, just stop it!" And this is the first one to cut a limb.
Amputation.
Yeah, I love when War's sword gets stuck. He's like, "Your head should be gone," and he's like, adamantium spine says, "Phew."
Yeah. And he's like, "Can someone get the sword out of my neck?"
Yeah.
We're back to Pog and magic.
But wait, real quickly. Araco still got that point because Wolverine was playing for Solemn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yes.
God.
Yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
Because it was just like Storm and Wolverine getting a point.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Araco getting a point, but Wolverine had to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
At this point, it's 5-3 with Arako winning. Pogger Pog versus Magic. The rematch, baby. Guess what? Spoilers. Pogger Pog is not an alligator. He's a little goblin man.
Living inside a big suit skin, and she's
It's just like a mech suit.
and he's just like, now I know you're my opponent, but I pray you just wait a moment. And she's like, nah, this is a fight to the death or submission. Either way, little guy, you're beat.
Gives him a wallop. Torture endurance.
Yeah, that's the one where we just see them all in like different torture positions, and Arako wins.
This is where we get just a lot of this like little montage battles, and I really love all of them.
I'm so glad that we get a data page that's not just this chart. There's also a data page that describes all these little moments and how people did. Just to elaborate a little further, because I don't like when you just get like brushed by ideas for something like this. I'm like, I feel like we could get a little more. I love that they use the data pages to give the little details, like Wolverine was still drunk on the runway, so he's real bad at the runway fashion show bit. Storm was great, but we also think that's because she was drunk.
So, you guys noticed, because you guys have been reading X Factor, there are notes from Mojo on how you make this into a new streaming service.
Yes,
so all of these battles, like, how do we turn this into money? And I'm like, damn it!
They're talking about like changing some of the things, and so good.
Yeah, just
let's make them lose here. Adds more drama.
So we got the contest of boulders, which Arako wins. We got the battle beneath the waves, which is a swimming contest. Oh, they're fighting.
They're fighting sea monsters.
Arako wins. We got the contest of plates, which is an eating contest,
and Krakoa wins.
Let's see. Cable is probably the winner there.
Yep. It's Cable and Captain Avalon are doing great while Doug can't handle it, and they're competing against Red Root.
That's so good. Lord of the Dance. This is probably the best one. I can't even.
Doug discoing.
Bay's doing the robot.
Wolverine refusing to participate.
Logan is making us lose because he's not dancing. The Labyrinth Escape.
Yeah, which is the stair.
MC Escher shit. That's cool. Yeah. Jigsaw battle. Just a puzzle battle.
Just make a puzzle.
Which Krakoa wins.
Yeah, good for you. The Blight.
Oh, it's. I think it's because it's Gorgon and Ileana against each other.
Oh, and Gorgon's blind anyway.
Yeah,
so that's not even fair.
So they just win.
Okay. Contest of contour.
Yeah, that's the runway.
That's the runway walk. Let's see.
Yeah.
Storm doing great. Logan just not part of it at all in his like weird gladiator outfit. Red Root and War win it for them.
Oh, they look hot. I look great. We got a foot race.
Yeah, it's not clear what that one was from the visual, so I'm glad that they gave the data page about it, because it's just Ileana and Cable like looking at a map and pointing amongst galaxies.
We got a contest of letters. I don't know that. I don't remember that one is. Contest of letters. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I think the foot race actually is the run between Red Root and someone else
in the Crooked Market.
In the Crooked Market, yeah.
Then they put this
Captain
one.
Avalon.
They just put the image for this one before.
Okay, yeah.
So they're just a little out of order.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's probably the Blight's book navigation.
Right. Yeah.
Then foot race with Red Root versus Captain Avalon. Even though Red Root wins, she also loses because
she gets turned into a Funko.
Because she knocks something over, and nothing is free in the Crooked Market. That character, Mad Jim Jaspers, he's the ruler of another multiverse where he's like a Saturnine. But in this universe, this dude runs like this weird market. Multiverse is weird, you guys. It's cool. Rumination endurance. What's that one? White Sword versus Wolverine.
That's the one where they both have to look into a mirror and see every person they've killed, and the first one to blink is the one who loses, and Wolverine loses because he cries.
Oh, he's crying. That's so sad.
And it was the guy who killed like 1,000 people, and he's like,
yes, it's him. And,
White Sword, and maybe Secret.
White
MVP.
Sword is just facing it with a frown, but Wolverine is also facing with a frown. And then the last panel, he's got tears coming down, which I'm like, that is such a beautiful little piece.
Oh, the contest of letters is magic, and she spells magic wrong because she spells her name instead of the word magic, so she loses.
Yep.
And I'm like,
and she hates it.
That is some good stuff.
I just really like. I just felt that panel of Wolverine crying while watching that. I'm like, God damn, that's such a good panel for him.
Resist Temptation?
That's the Sirens, which Gorgon decides to go bang a rock.
Oh,
and then the next one, which is one of my favorites, and is pulled right out of Adventure Time.
Oh my God.
Swear.
Kill the kitten.
If you will recall, early in season 1 of Adventure Time, there's a part where it's like, slay this monster, and Finn's like, okay, and it's like this wizard reaper thing, and then he's like, cool, now slay this ant, and he's like, is the ant evil? And it's like, it's not really either. It's neutral. And he's like, well, I can't kill things that aren't evil. He's like, slay this unaligned ant. That's this kitten right here.
No, I think it's Captain Avalon in War, and then everyone's like, kill the kitten. And then the kitten goes, meow. And then of course Captain Avalon was like, you wouldn't. And he
stops her. Yeah.
He's like, no.
I don't care at all. Drawing first blood. That is Death versus Storm in another excellent couple of pages.
Beautiful.
The second time they dance. And I love that one.
Death is wearing a helmet, and he's just like, yo, he's got some pestilence up in there, man. He's got some gross shit in his head.
Well, he's looking
and he's confident because she doesn't have her powers here.
Yep.
And she's like, let me make something perfectly clear. My powers aren't what make me powerful, and shatters his blade.
Yeah. Storm with a blade is a mainstay since like the 80s. Like, yeah, like her whole thing is like, you think lightning is what makes me a badass? Oh boy. She's so cool. But she reflects Death's like evil goose stare or whatever.
It's his look upon the last face all sees.
And then she reflects it back, and then she cuts him up, and Storm's a badass.
It reflects off her blade so well, and she wrecks him. Like, makes him bleed, and then all the things come and eat him.
Yeah, because so if you read the data pages, these like elvish vampires have taken over this region.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't know that without reading the data page. So all these vampires come to eat this dude out of nowhere. I'm like, it's silly. I love it. Battle to the
their
death.
whole relationship dynamic, jumping back to like Storm's first dance with him and everything. That was so, the cover of it with him dipping her and everything. I'm like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the imagery of it, and Death looks so cool. Death was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Araco side,
and I like that real quick. Like the original Horsemen are kind of like again like the predecessors of what we know now, but like they are like Death is Anubis and like War is a Firehead. It's like things that we've known for centuries or whatever. It's cool that like this is the origin of them.
Pestilence is all covered up in bandages. And, I mean, Famine. It's Famine, right? That's the fourth one.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Famine's the only one that to me that doesn't really work. But I mean, War, Fire, Death, Anubis looks rad. Pestilence, you get that wrapped up in bandages, you're sick, you can't really move very well. Famine's like,
oh my god, you got the we got, let's see. Okay, Battle to the Death, which is Bay the Blood Moon versus Cable. Cable, the better sword fighter. But he
hesitates because
he doesn't want to kill because
Doug's wife.
He's got Doug's big wife. And then Bay decides to flip the tables, and she's gonna kill Cable, and like, don't, you don't need to kill him. I love you and you love me, and he's my friend. And Saturnine's like, well, I guess the death of spirit is as good as a death. Which is nice. But yeah, poor Cable, man. This is the scene you're talking about, Brandon, where he's like he's crying for his mom, and it's so powerful that it
pierces from Otherworld, which it's not supposed to do, which is what Charles and Magneto say later. They're like, that shouldn't happen.
That's the power of love transcends time and space. Thanks, Interstellar. Cable doesn't win. 100-1. The White Sword versus Gorgon, which is probably the coolest fight. Like, just like Gorgon, again, like a character who is part of Hydra. He shows up every once in a while as an X-Men villain. Now just like the super honorable dude who basically gets the win for us. Just so sick.
He cuts down, as we talked about before, he cuts down enough people to tie them before falling himself.
I mean, he also counted for 2 contestants, so it's not surprising.
Yeah. And then what's Apocalypse's great line there?
That is how a mutant dies, children.
Yeah. Just badass. Just excellent stuff. And then the final challenge, man versus wife. Oh, it's so juicy. And it's just like, it's really good. And it's so dramatic. And it's like, he says like, this is like a millennia in the making. And it's like that final page of them about to go battle for destruction.
I think one of the things that's so cool about this is that all of Ten of Swords was building to it. In creation, we see a lot of apocalypses. Not creation, but like after creation, when he's being repaired, he talks about how they ended up on Araco and why it was his fault, and the guilt that he feels for it with annihilation and all that, and going all the way up to seeing their 2 different paths that they took, fighting each other. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's an issue or 2 before the event where Apocalypse has the summoner tell him the story, and all the visuals remain the same as when Genesis retells it later
Yeah.
in this event, but she tells the story from the true perspective of what happened to them. And she's like, and they tell all these stories, but we know the truth about what you did, Apocalypse. And it's
You
like,
close the door behind you.
baby.
And again, it's like, it's that thing of like, honey, like you're not strong enough. You should go and try to make something for yourself, and we'll be the ones to defend it. And it's like Apocalypse crying like a little baby, and it's like, honey, I love you so much. And like, again, this is something you've never seen before. Like this Oscar Isaac bad villain is like so great. He's so good.
And what's really cool is by having Apocalypse seem weak to these other characters, the stakes for beating those other characters is even greater. For our characters, because of Apocalypse, and someone even says it like, if Apocalypse was a problem,
imagine
do we have a shot?
A whole line of them who are stronger than him. So Apocalypse and Genesis are fighting, and Apocalypse gets the upper hand actually. And then she succumbs to the Annihilation Helmet, and all hell breaks loose. The tournament, even though the tournament was rigged, the tournament is now off because just the invasion is just commencing. Summoners
Annihilation hits the I don't care button.
The I don't care button. Let's summon every Cthulhu beast we possibly can. Again, like this issue 22, this destruction issue, some of the biggest, most beautiful splash pages of comic art I've ever seen. Scott is bringing the entire crew of X-Men with him on the sword station. Ileana gets him transported down there. Big epic battle, like Lord of the Rings style battle with all these heroes. The heroes cannot die because if you die in Otherworld, you get brought back a weirdo. Look at Rockslide, he's a weirdo.
No, he's Symbols.
He's Symbols. Oh, you need to read X Factor. He's a weirdo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we see him when he's first resurrected, and that's what we alluded to, like the when he is first resurrected and he is not speaking right and he doesn't look the same, and it was like, and then like we didn't talk about it, but the 5 like freak out and like destroy the stock of eggs and destroy the whole hatchery.
That's very important.
Well, because Cerebro Charles is down too, and they don't know what.
And if then all the eggs, all the birth pods are tainted. So they have to destroy all of them and start over. Which means
they think it's their fault that Rockslide ended up this way, and it's like the tainted eggs. So we got to destroy all the eggs.
Yeah. Which I mean, I'm not a scientist. That seems like real rash, but I get it. But yeah. So please don't die because you guys won't come back, and that's a problem. So the stakes are there. And again, like we just established all this Krakoa stuff, so it's nice to be like, no, actually, they will never return, and like this is big stakes. Big T-bone stakes. I love it.
Because if they die in Otherworld specifically, and we just found out what happens if they die in Araco, which was cool. But if they die in Otherworld, they don't come back. The same version of them doesn't come back.
Because Otherworld is the nexus of all realities of the multiverse. It is like the center of the multiverse. If you die in Otherworld and get resurrected, potentially infinite numbers of multiverse yous get put into that body instead of the regular you.
Yeah.
Whether that's like your soul, your conscience, whatever, the weird X-Men stuff we're talking about. Like 25 different versions of this character throughout the multiverse are shoved into one body, into this new character. And if you've read some of the interviews and stuff, and some of the characters who've died, and if you read the newest issue of X-Men from this week, characters come back and they're just different, and people are cool with it. I'm just like, characters are just different now, and it's weird. It's just really cool and weird that it's like we're accepting this.
Yeah, I really. The last issue really solidified the event for me, especially how it ends, which is that Apocalypse essentially gets what he wants.
Oh, he gets to go hang out with his family again. Yeah, so he defeats Annihilation, and he decides to take the helmet for himself because he thinks, even though Genesis is stronger, Apocalypse is stronger in different ways. He doesn't want to win, but he wants to lose, so he sacrifices himself.
He says flat out, I don't care about winning anymore.
Yeah, so as Annihilation, he surrenders, which means Amenth loses, because he is now like the controller of Amenth, which is like the evil people. So Apocalypse saves the day. He gets to go back home with his family. The Saturnine says like, all right, you got to send one person from Krakoa to Araco and one person from Araco to Krakoa. It's like basically an exchange.
What you were saying was Apocalypse is not the stronger physically in power against Genesis, but he is the stronger will.
Yes. Yeah.
I really appreciate that Apocalypse. The first thing Apocalypse was like, he's like, can I pick Araco?
Yeah.
And she's like, that wasn't in the cards.
Pretty sneaky.
I didn't see that.
So Araco is now going to become part of Krakoa. So it's going to be. I don't know if they're not going to call it Okara, the one land, but they're going to be reunited.
The land will be whole again.
The land will be whole again. But if you noticed, there are millions. They said there are millions of mutant prisoners on this island. Yeah. So that means we are getting an infinite number of new characters for the rest of X-Men history. All of history. We can just recreate new characters. Like this is Degrassi, the next generation, or TNG, Star Trek. Like the next generation of not just mutants, but Amenthi demon mutant hybrids. Because that was also something they were doing. Chimeras was also something that was happening. So like all this shit is slowly building more and more. And I'm just like, man, there's a lot on X-Men's plate. There's a lot. There's like, I hope this is like a 10-year plan because there's so much story that will never get.
I remember reading an article and he was like, and he said, yeah, I have a 5-year X-Men plan. And I'm like, you sure just 5?
Like
this event went from what originally into 22?
12 issues to 22.
12 issues to 22?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more than 5 years.
Yeah. And I hope so because like it's all working.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Yeah. So Sword's back.
Out this week.
Holy shit! New X-Men out this week, guys. Al Ewing, I love it. Valero Sheedy. And then it ends with Saturnine, just kind of going over like talking to her like her number one commander, Fish Lady Rael. It's like, so Miss Saturnine, did everything go as planned? And she's like, hell yeah, dude. Kind of not really, but
well, she plays the face where she's like, of course I got the Captain Britain Corps back. I got everything I wanted. And then when she sees Brian and, and we see like what she really wanted, it's like almost
the dream behind her.
She's got the army of the Betsies all there.
That is, guys, I can't tell you how especially for Captain Britain fans, for fans of old school Excalibur, because Jonathan Hickman is the person who destroyed the Captain Britain Corps in Secret Wars, and then he's the person who brought it back. He not only brought it back, but he brought it back and he made every character Betsy instead of Brian. He made all the characters like female representations instead of just being a dude again. I'm like, there's a frog Betsy. There's like a Thor-looking Betsy. Like,
there's a swan.
There's a swan Betsy. Like, are you kidding me?
It's called Violet Swan.
Oh, that's cute. I love it. I just think it's so cool for the future of the character for Betsy, for not just giving Saturnine Brian because like that's what everyone wants. Like Saturnine is like the most obscure X-Men villain, like quote unquote villain, and she's like the big comic book character of the year. And I'm just like, man, I love comics. Like only big books can do this.
Just my babies are dead.
Sinister. God, Hellions, guys. Hellions is so good. Great.
Here, there's some sinisterisms.
There's one specific panel. I think it might be in 22 where Sinister says, "Oh, you want to go through the gate? Good luck." And he gives like an evil grin, and it's the scariest he has ever looked, ever.
And then so Kate calls him out for stopping for a cape before he got to the council meeting. He's like, "Excuse me, before Emma took pity on you, you looked like you were dressing yourself with the remainders from the Xavier School Lost and Found box. So I don't think I'll take any fashion sass from you." And then she's just like that, like just stunned. And Emma's like, "Well, that motion is regrettably seconded." Sinister is the king of sass. Just when he kills all of them in the smoke when they come back, and he's like, "You didn't happen to see my cape back there?" And Empath just dies of him. He's like, "No, well, my sweet holy God, help! There's been a terrible attack. My precious Hellions are dead." He even does the throat clear. There we are. And now it's totally Frieza from Broly.
I love it.
It's Broly, it's such a tragedy. Paragus was hit by a stray blast.
I really don't think Frieza's voice fits Sinister, but I really wish it would.
Yeah.
That's a good moment with Wild Child. Where
the passing of Wild Child is something I want to talk about when she sends him in, and it's that like
I'm gonna do good for you.
She done so well and with training him and connecting with him, and it's just
building like a relationship. Yeah.
And I love when the guy's like warning Sinister, like, "Don't try to take genetics from me." And then Havoc is just like, "Hey, are you listening to him?" And he's like, yes, I am listening to my heart. The drones.
I think Hellions might be the best book, guys. I'm just saying. It's certainly like the most entertaining for sure. The Vile
I love the look of the guy, and he's like, yeah, why are you guys here? Don't you understand that it's already happening back in Otherworld?
I keep calling
back the way you came.
It's the Locust Vial, not the other way around.
Yeah.
But they all have like unique, silly names. They're all great.
Ryan, what's Orphan Maker's ability?
We don't know.
Interesting.
Yes, so Orphan Maker, that's this whole thing. Like his X gene is just like world ending. So he's always been in a suit. So like I don't know. I think this is a new development, which is cool.
I have read Hellions and X Factor post Ten of Swords.
Bro,
so
I'm just saying, Wild Child and Nanny, how hot are they? I'm just saying. What guys? It's things go in an unexpected way. It's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really, really small moment, and it's not about him. It's about this, which is that they just it's just the dialogue, like third person narrator just talking about the location. It's returning to when Apocalypse is injured. He's in the healing station. They're trying to repair his body, and this is the narration for it. Krakoa. Some call it home. Some call it paradise. Others call it an open grave, where the dead are resurrected and never rest.
Oh,
damn.
I'm like,
that's kind of sad.
That is really, like, it is a kind of blink and you miss it page of them just calling it like that. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, they ain't wrong.
Look at that. Look at that evil looking ass. God, it's so spooky.
Broly, Paragus was killed.
When Betsy destroys the amulet in front of her and she gets so pissed. I freaking love that moment. There's so much good stuff with Betsy when they steal the sword from Saturnine. I really just like that page.
Saturnine, she just loves Brian so much, and he just doesn't want her. And it's just, I'm not sad about it. She's literally married for 40 years. For 40 years, she's been trying to bang this dude, and he's just like, I'm not into you. I'm sorry.
He's got a wife and kid to worry. He's got wife and kid to go home to. He's like, I'm married. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't into that infidelity bullshit.
Just a couple more. I just can't help it. A couple more sinisterisms. His exchange with Magneto, where he's like, hey, I don't want you to get into what she was raised, but I thank you to keep her away from my boy, speaking of Havoc. And Magneto's like, I'd like to change my vote to send him to the other world. Like, wait, you can't do that. Oh, but... and Sinister has to go. So he goes and talks to the other clone of him that he just hatched.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, you got to go for me. And he's like, what? No.
You go for me.
Why would I waste this young and supple body? You go, Grandpa. Do not push me. I will come at you like a tornado of teeth and claw. I love it. I will go full primate. Do me a favor and lightly pepper yourself before I eat your face. And then they just stand there. Can't say that sounds very fun at all. Don't love it either. The noble contest then? Best 2 out of 3? I said the noble contest, didn't I? It begins. Winner keeps the cape. So, and then you never know. You never know
which one it is, yeah. So up until Kieran Gillen wrote Uncanny X-Men in 2011, Sinister was not this way. He was very much a more traditional, like on behind the scenes evil man. I love experiments. But in 2011, Kieran Gillen turned him into almost like a joke in a fun way. And Jonathan McMahon has doubled down on it. And this is the better choice, because this is way better than Sinister was before.
When he gets to Jamie, and Jamie's like, and Sinister's like, well, great, that settles it. To Avalon we go. And Jamie's like, oh, but surely we must seal our bargain with an exchange of gifts. Muford, bring the princess. And he's like, what's happening? and then what? I forget his name.
Orphan Maker.
And then Orphan Maker is just standing there. He's like, oh, please get the pony, Mr. XS. Please, please, please. The answer is no. A horse is a major responsibility.
There's one more Sinister thing, like when he's talking to the council after he's come back. Oh, I think it actually might be in Hellion, so I can't talk about it. Shit, because that's
this one.
It's a really good exchange that I really like.
Sinister.
So when I read the first issue of Hellions in the crossover, and Sinister called it the Noble Contest, I'm like, I gotta start calling that from now on.
Oh, it's when one of the things I really like about Sinister is when he's talking about, like, let's just send my Hellions over there and we'll get the sword beforehand. So you'd go with them, right? What? No.
No. And then there's not enough votes, and he's like, oh, thank God. All right. Then he pushes Magneto.
I'd like to change my vote. Wait, no.
Yeah. God, I love Magneto. Just like he just gives him that blurb about his daughter, and Magneto just looks over. I'm gonna change my vote.
I'm changing my vote. He's going. What?
Man, just
Great event.
So much world building.
I wanna also highlight, this is not Sinister, but this is Storm when she first dances with Death, and she says, "I have been dancing with you my entire life. First as a girl living on the streets, and later as leader of the X-Men, a role that taught me how to sway Death. So I neither fear nor desire you, but I know you."
Yeah, it's good.
This event is so good.
Hey guys, I'm just saying the last event Jonathan Hickman did was Secret Wars, and like he's pretty good at the events, I think.
Not only do I think this event is really good, and I enjoyed it throughout. I personally didn't feel a lull. I also read it in one go.
Yeah, I rereading it, like it's just because my expectations, and now that
for sure,
yeah, I'm with you.
I'm really glad it went the way it did. I think this was more interesting than a sword fighting tournament.
Yeah,
I think this was incredibly enjoyable. And I think this was wonderful payoff to everything Dawn of X has been doing up to this point, specifically the stuff around the Summoner, Apocalypse, the Otherworld Gate,
Summoner,
some of the ideas about resurrection.
Yeah, Summoner becoming a bad guy. Like what an anime betrayal, killing his friend Rockslide. Like Rockslide is like a fan favorite character. Like he was part of like the X-Men Academy stuff from like a decade ago. It's like the new generation. So like he has like a lot of like younger fans. And it's just sad to see him get swiped in half like that. That's all right though. He's backing away.
All right. We did it. Swords.
Hey guys, let me tell you. I never once in my life thought you would ever utter the word Saturnine in my life. And
Really?
we are in the glorious year of 2020. Thank you, X-Men.
Hey,
I guess the next time we'll talk about the X-Men big time will be at the end of Reign of X if we want to keep doing this.
If it's like a bit thing, sure.
Yeah. Hey Ryan.
Yeah.
Saturnine.
Oh, Luno Saturnine. I'm the Matrix.
Oh, stop it!
Her royal
You're making me rough.
It's the longest title, and I love it. It's so pompous.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. I don't think we're going to be talking about any of the other events coming out. Death Metal, definitely not, and probably not King of Black. But yeah,
I would definitely need to. King of Black so far, I would not want to do it.
I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't push it.
We need to decide on
how. Yes.
Ben, hang on, Sparks.
Just finish your joke.
No, I was saying Ten of Swords, yes. King of Black, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, you say that now, Ben, but you also aren't caught up on Venom. So if you were caught up on Venom, you would probably feel differently.
I'm not even close to caught up on Venom, so I'm fine.
Honestly, no joke. I am so much more interested in the tie-ins than I am the main event. You got that Iron Man Doctor Doom book. I just picked up the Union, which is like the Union event, the UK Avengers with snakes. The man made of snakes. Like I'm there, baby.
I really speaking of Venom, I really enjoyed the Venom Beyond arc. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, we will at a later date decide how we're going to handle Donny Cates stuff because there's certainly a conversation to be had, or a few.
Yeah. Hopefully someday. I really like his stuff still. Okay, Blankets by Craig Thompson. Sparks, you put this one in here. That's what your book club is next week?
That is my book club.
What's that about?
Surprise you.
Okay, give me the synopsis right now.
No, I know. I did some looking. It's not a Christmas themed book, but it is kind of winter-esque. It's
autobiographical.
It's autobiographical, yes.
Very cool.
So
awesome. Stay tuned for that.
Novel, so let's have fun.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Okay, next week we're going to be talking about the new Universal Pictures film Freaky. It is available VOD right now, so we can watch it in the safety of our own home.
I'm excited.
We also have some things we talked about earlier. We will do a Crude A New Age review that's coming sometime down the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. And we just solidified what our holiday annual is going to be. Guys, we do this for you every year. You gotta know it's coming. It's our holiday annual.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
With your Christmas wishes.
Yeah, especially Ryan, because I can't use the same one.
So, yeah, you're right. I got my other one, but it kind of got leaked that it's actually happening. So I don't know if that's fair or not.
Yeah,
it's a Metal Gear remake by the guys. It's by Blue Point, the guys who made Demon Souls and Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh no! If you know what's happening, then no, you can't.
That's not fair. Yeah, I got to make it something that won't happen for 7 years.
See you, Mag.
Thanks for stopping by, Mag. Thank you,
Mag. You're great. I gave you a shout out on the Phil Better show. Yeah, and we got some other things in the pipeline. We might do with some other thwip guys.
At this moment, supposedly, Ryan and I will be recording a BVS thing with another podcast this week.
We'll let you
and
know.
we'll let you know where to find that when it happens.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming before the end of the year that will all culminate.
I'm saying it now because I'm not going to mention it again until it actually has been done.
We got a lot of things coming for you, culminating in our holiday annual, our favorite time of year that we can't sadly do in person this year. So we'll coordinate how that's going to work.
Yep.
Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you know we have a YouTube channel. But if you're listening to this and you don't know that we have a YouTube channel, we have a YouTube channel. The link is in the description. We have a bunch of other shows on our YouTube channel. We have our Fake Nerds Watch series, which we are currently doing for The Mandalorian, 2 episodes at a time. A new episode of that is coming at you sometime this week. We also have Basement Arcade. Basement Arcade is a cool little thing that we do on this channel also. You guys just put up Fortnite.
Video games.
That's our video game show. Our Let's Play video games, whatever, extravaganza.
I don't kind of have a job right now again, so maybe more Basement Arcade's coming out.
Yay, unemployment. Screw the government. Okay. We have our Fortnite series. We have Fortnite video up now. Link in the description. We also have the Fake Nerd Book Club. We may get a new episodes out by the end of the year, but I'm not banking on it.
Things are busy. Schedules are crazy.
We also have a lot more things that we would also do. It's kind of a more relaxed show, but we will be doing. Let me see if I get it. Little Char and his friends.
Nope.
Damn it.
Close.
You want me to say it?
Yes, please. I'll get it eventually.
Little Char and the gang.
Little Char and his gang. Damn it.
No,
I mean, you're not wrong.
They're friends, but
that's our next book club series. We just finished the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I did the plug up top, but we had the links in the description for the Crafted by Z masks. You know that word is really strange. Mask.
All
right. Anyway, so we have our Fake Nerd Podcast masks up there, custom made, cool stuff. Great gifts for this is going until like next summer, so like wear your damn mask. We also have a Patreon. Phil convinced me to keep the $25 one up, so I might do that.
Really?
Listen, until somebody buys that ship in a bottle thing, we can't get rid of it. That's in the rule.
Okay, that's now the rule.
That's the rule.
We also talked about some more tiers going up there, which I think are actually not a bad idea. We'll talk about that if I ever remember to do it. And of course, we have our TeePublic, which you can buy a lot of cool shirts on there. Don't be a dick. Bread and Butter, Book Club, Suburban Proctologist. That's up there. Yeah. All those links are in the description below, or you could go to our website, www.fakenerdpodcast.com. It's in the ticker down here. It's also linked below. I put up a new article. Whatcha? Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Oh, I was pointing them to links.
Oh well, Ben. Never mind.
got my sword to start stabbing.
All right, thank you to everyone who listens and watches the live show. You guys are ridiculous, but we love you. Thank you to our good friend Jeremy Bellucci. He does a podcast called Suburban Proctologist. He does our intro music. He does all of our themes. Hopefully more in the new year, if I can remember to ask him. Oh shit, I forgot the next pie. Oh well. You can find him at Jeremy Bellucci Keyboards or his podcast on iTunes, of course, or at facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at SubProc Podcast. Thank you to Mike Matola. Mike, we love you. You're a great guy. The newest Mike's Impossible Movie Trivia Challenge is up right now for The Little Mermaid. You can find him at Mike Matola, where you can get that really cool Little Mermaid print.
It is really cool.
It's out of this world.
Okay. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. I missed the line. Why did I step up? Oh, if you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
You can find me raising my sword and talking and also suffering at work at BenMaggot27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you like old school video games, like I do, I read for Old School Gamer magazine. Why has no article gone up this week? Work. That's why. It sucks. I have an idea and I know exactly what I want to talk about, but I just every time I come home, I can't write it. Well, I can. I just have to push back sleep.
It's called depression.
It's yeah.
Sparkles?
You can find me pretty much getting sucked into finals entirely this week. So at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty. I got 5 papers and 1 big test.
Oh, big test.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
The bigger the test, the harder you fail. I'm sorry. That got away from me.
No, I can make it work.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
What?
Right.
Ryan.
Hey guys, you could find me probably starting Immortals: Phoenix Rising on twitch.com/DJ Tony Stark 616 or DJ Tony Snark on Twitter and Instagram.
Maybe we'll start a Fortnite stream every now and then.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I got time now.
I'll have some time.
Yeah, if you also if you follow Ryan, you can see his cat giving him the greatest anime betrayal of all time.
What a jerk.
First time.
Yeah.
Just right there behind you in the corner. You can
Oh,
see
he's
her.
a little cutie. Look at that.
All right. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast. Do I have to sneeze? Rate and review wherever you get us. Oh, yeah, I have to sneeze.
Bless you, bless you.
This is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever felt in my life.
Bless you.
Oh, my God.
Bless you.
It's not coming, but it really wants to.
Look at the light. Look at the light.
Bless you.
Screw it.
Bless you.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Until next week.
Bless you.
Stay fake nerds.
Because